Good evening. Good evening, one and all. I hope everyone is doing well. Lovely to see you on this fine Thursday evening. For those that have been in the chat and reading as we go along, as you may be aware, Twitch is being a little bit funny at the moment. So if anything does go wrong, feel free to come and join us over on YouTube where we are. So we are dual streaming. And currently there's only about a 2-second delay, which is just pretty good going by normal YouTube standards. How is everyone? How is everyone on this glorious day? We have some beautiful folks in this evening. We have a DM bassist. We have a Bruno Miguel. We have a Zerachul and a Crudmo. We have an FMGNG and a Benny and a Lumi and a Sherbs and the medical car. And there are people I've probably missed off that list, so I do apologise. But it is wonderful to see you all in. We have a Lou as well. There's a Lou who would like to share a box-to-box midfielder whose stats are out of this world for Vanarama League. Well, most definitely you should. Most definitely should. In fact, the best place for it, Lou, is over in the Discord. I mean, there should be a lovely little link popping up when Twitch decides it wants to well, StreamerBot decides it wants to fire. Does it? Does it want to fire? Or is it no? It's not going to fire. How disappointing. How disappointing. I'll try it again later and hopefully we can there and have a good look at the box-to-box midfielder. Sherbs is currently consumed by coursework. I get that. Does that work? Oh, come on. Is Cat and the soundboard was working a little bit earlier. These are the problems we may be experiencing with Twitch this evening. At the moment, I don't even know who redeemed that. I've just got a thing that says unknown user, soundboard catter. Bless him. So welcome in, Mr. Momo Man. How are you doing? Is this the January transfer window? You missed 2 streams and the title is concerning. We are very close. We are very close to the January transfer window. We've got a few games coming our way. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Now, okay, so that Discord link isn't working over on YouTube either. Let's see. Right, StreamerBot's all connected up. The command is there. Where is it? Discord, it is there. Interesting. That seems to be a little bit worrying. The link is in the description over on YouTube, indeed. Fabulous stuff. And yes, the beard is coming back. Isn't it great? Isn't it marvellous? It feels so nice to be able to have my comfort facial hair to play with whilst I'm feeling awkward and uncomfortable. So it is a bit of a shame. We will have to bear mind with that on the Twitch issues. But subsequently, if we go a long while without it being able to work, I'll squeeze the mini games in as and where we possibly can. Right, shall we have a little head on over to the game, see where things are, where we left off for the other evening, and kind of what the lay of the land is. So we are currently sitting in 4th, which isn't great. It's exactly the same position we started off on Tuesday evening. We are 7 points adrift of Fiorentina. We are behind Inter on goal difference, but we do have a game in hand over them. And we did play them last time out. So we made a couple of changes to the tactic, switching up to a 4-4-2, or at least a version of a 4-4-2, and we swept Lazio away. Lazio, who aren't particularly good at the moment. We lost away to Valencia in the 88th minute with a little bit of a punch in the gut. We drew with Inter. I mean, I say away. I mean, it's away, but it's also at home. You know how it is. And then we beat Juventus before a draw with Porto. It's not been perfect, but there have been signs of improvement. We've now got 3 games to go until we move through to the January transfer window, where we will hopefully be able to sign a new striker. So that's going to be the hope. We've had a look at a handful. So let's catch you up with what we've done with the tactic. So I say what we've done with the tactic. Last time round, we were playing with the Mazzala and the winger down here for this game, because as you can see, the games have had very few goals in them. Just going to push it forwards, see how we get on away from home if we try and attack just a little bit more. So we push them forwards. The 4-4-2, this guy was meant to be an inverted winger, but stayed too wide when he was out wide. So as an attacking midfielder, he then has to come back and mark back in this area to help kind of give us some protection. And the same happens with Nuama here. He marks the AML area, so he comes back and slots So depending on what size the build-up is, we generally end up with kind of like a back five shape. And that's kind of the plan. Our issue is that we have Isaac up front as our poacher. We don't really have a proper poacher profile. So we had a look at some stats, and we picked out a nice big short list of players. There were 10 players in total. And then before this stream started, I added 2 more to scout. I went and had a look through Serie A's top goal scorers. So if we go here, and I noticed that Roberto Piccoli, 31 years old, 6'3", scoring at over 0.5 goals per game and winning a shit ton of headers. And then we've got Mikael Haller, who's playing as an attacking midfielder, but also winning a shitload of headers. His goals are just under that, but he's not playing as a striker, so I've got some hope there. So we've got those guys scouted as well. Hopefully we'll have something going. Right, so Big Gattuso did work earlier indeed. We managed to get a little bit of sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Even got a little bit of Kevin Keegan before the stream started up. So actual, our first world problems are growing. They are, aren't they? So Mrs. Cromwell just came in from the gym, saw the stream was live, waved at the screen and said, "Hi, Jeff," then went to have a shower. Like you can see her waving. Well, I will wave back. I appreciate that she is now probably upstairs, so we've missed that. So Elia says, "You think Twitch is having a meltdown? Yours is bugged as well." It is indeed a little bit. So Momo Man finally won the Champions League, Premier and Carabao with Chester. Fantastic stuff. And you need a new save. I mean, doesn't it sound like you need to continue and make Chester the powerhouse for all eternity, right? Summer, indeed. Welcome in, Jinru. It is, summer is almost here. I mean, when does summer start? Do we say that June is the start of summer? Summer indeed. Night of Knees in as well. Welcome in, my dude. Lovely to see you. Zerichal, 30, nods approving, 23, shakes head. I mean, Piccoli does fit the bill as a 30 plus, but you know, we've got some young players that, you know, if we have to have a young player, then maybe we have to have a young player. But let's head on in to the very first game then. So here we are. It's away against Palmo, who are doing all right. They're in 7th right now, just 5 points behind us. So going very attacking might be a little bit foolhardy. But we've got to get those goals. We need that has been the missing ingredient. Oh, come on. And it looks like we're going to be playing pink against pink. I'm sure this is going to be a really fun and easy game for us to distinguish what's going on. Right, let's tell everyone that I have faith in them. We look here, we've got Navarro. Ranocchia is on the right and he's the attacking one. So the guy on the left, he's on Ranocchia, perfect. Needs to be on Navarro. He's on Navarro. And that's Benato. Should then be marking the other defender's midfielder, Bijedic, which he is. So that's marvellous stuff there. I think we're good to go. Beautiful stuff. Bad news, Musterman. The link to Discord on YouTube is invalid. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Thank you for letting me know, Lou. That'll be something I'll have to try and sort out on the break. It's meant to be a perpetual one, one that never expires. But thank you for letting me know. That's a bit of a boo-boo. There we go. I'm back to being unprofessional and pro streamer moment. A DM bassist lives in Scotland. We had summer for about 3 hours last Tuesday. I mean, and what a fabulous summer it was. One of the best in the last decade, I reckon. Welcome in, Tommaso. Lovely to see you. And Beer. Greetings from Serbia. I hope you're doing well. I hope you both have had a lovely week so far. Here's Benato coming forward in the opening minute or so. We've got it back to Anita Hammer. Here's Nuama. Nuama feeds Benato and Benato fires it wide from 6 yards out. I mean, it was a difficult effort. Had to take it on the half volley. But that would have been a nice start, wouldn't it? Crubmo loves a bit of pink on pink action. Is it not pink on pink as well? It looks like we're going to have to focus on the shorts. We're in blue, they're in black. Otherwise, that's not particularly handy. Okay, so the opening moments were good, but we haven't seen a highlight since. And just as I say that, here we are, tempting face. Here comes Palermo, loses out though. Navarro wins it and Palmer comes away. Palmer, going down the left-hand side, sends it in low. Isaac with a goal. Is that onside? Is that onside? I'm not feeling confident on that to be honest. Right. It stands.
Milan, ain't nobody I'd rather be. Milan, they can't take that away from me.
You can't take that away from me. You can't take that away from me because he was onside quite clearly. 1-0. That will do nicely. You've got summer this weekend. So far, 8 degrees yesterday to 23 tomorrow. It's just annoying. Oh, that is annoying. The constant up and down, horrendous. I mean, I think it's currently telling me it's about 22 degrees today, which is far too hot for the UK, but the fans are doing their job, which is all that matters. Cronmo always focuses on the shorts, if you know what I'm saying. No comment. Cronmo doesn't know what he's saying. Okay, then I don't need to make a comment. 5 shots in a half isn't exactly great, but as we can see, Pink have had more momentum than Pink have. Which is really, really handy. XG's kind of all right there. So we are further ahead, further behind as well. I'm surprised that we're quite so deep, given the state of play. We've had a lot of the ball, 65%. So let's hands on hips. We can do better. And that is the cue to increase the tempo. And a standard round of you've been okay, but you can do better. Let's see if we can hold on to this in the second half. It's going to have a highlight straight from the off. 46th minute. Another Palmo throw-in. Going to try and build it up deep, but Kari snuffs out the danger. Here's Nuama to Isaac to Benato. Benato! Oh, it's another shocking miss from Benato. That is 2 chances he had in the opening minute of each half. And 2 chances absolutely gone begging. I think he's going to be coming off shortly. Right, here's a corner. Well claimed by Atabolo. Atabolo now looking to roll it out. The left-hand side looks more open because they've got loads of bodies over that side, but it's going that way anyway. Here's Nuama. Cuts inside, plays it across to Palmer. Palmer sees Navarro on the overlap. Navarro skips past his man, feeds Palmer. Palmer feeds Nuama. And that one's good.
Go for the fans, it's because they see Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands. Goals for the fans, it's because they see Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands.
Boom! Nuama sweeps it away. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. I said in base it's 21 degrees but raining tomorrow. That's the kind of 21 degrees I can cope with, to be fair. A little bit of rain just to make everything feel a little bit fresher. I'm very much in favour. So Mr. Momo Man, the Chester save wipes all players using a mod for a full refresh with no prior knowledge. Also means things end up ridiculous. 178 hours in, and West Ham wages are at 400k. Need a fresh start. That's fair. That's fair then. Right, we're going to make that change. We're going to bring off the misfiring Benato, bring on Kerem, and let's see how we go here. It's another highlight starting from the goalkeeper. Rod finds Palmer. Lovely. First time touch to Navarro. Gets it back. He goes all the way back to Rod. Kvez, your messages don't get through on Twitch, but you look equally handsome here, luckily. Ah, bless you, thank you. No Crodmo here either, which is good. Isn't it a relief, Kvez? Isn't it a relief? Crodmo says it might hit that 30 down here tomorrow. Oh, hell to that. Hell to that. Right, Nuama sets forward Isaac. Isaac to make it 3. Isaac's made it 3. Boom, there we go. 3-0. That seems much more like that's what we've been missing. What we've been missing for sure. So more like 25 to 26, but you never know. I hope it doesn't make 30. I do have ice cream coming tomorrow. Nuama feeds Isaac. Isaac for the hat trick. Is there an offside check? There is an offside check. Oh, let's see what's about to happen. It stands. So indeed, we have some new songs, and we might get through them all at this rate. This is quite astonishing. So Kerem with the free kick. We've got 9 minutes left. 4-0 up. Feeds Rocha. Rocha's shot is blocked behind for a corner. Let's make the changes now. So Nuama's going to come off. He's going to be replaced by Mosconi. Palmer's going to come off. He's going to be replaced by... Yeah, let's play Winders higher up. So that's a couple of changes. And we will then leave it a little bit and run the next two changes a little bit later. Might as well just try and see the game out. So there was another new song. There were plenty of new songs. We finally had a chance. Now that I've been able to replace my headphones. Right, let's bring on Bockers. Let's bring on Pizza Pasta. That should be enough to see us through for the last few moments. So no Crudmo says Screaming Mechanical Brain. Now, if you guys are over on YouTube, I do heartily recommend clicking on Screaming Mechanical Brain's username and heading on over to that channel because there's some fabulous music for those that like your music on the rockier side. Absolutely worth doing it. Damn, score more goals, please, so we can hear more of them. We'll save some of them. Or maybe, if only I have a goal conceded one. Because Salami comes close. Attabolo, though, does get down low to his left. Tips it behind the post, around the post, in stoppage time. Here's a corner for Palermo. Left-footed, taken in by Manu Sanchez into the far post. And the highlight ends before we even see what happened. That's a good result. 4 goals, 2.87 XG. That's nice to be on the right side of things. Isaac, all that talk about signing new strikers evidently has given him a proverbial kick up the arse. And that jumps us all the way up to second. Granted, Juventus have a game in hand. We've now played one more than Fiorentina, but still going to be delighted with that nonetheless. Rod looks tired. We know Rod's tired. He is perpetually tired. We are, though. This is the first time we've had a whole week off for a while. So we're going to give all the senior players a bit of a rest. And then we've got our game at home against Leche. I'm going to chuck a friendly in here for some of the reserve players as well. See if we can do that. That game's going to have to be on... I cannot.
I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
The special one indeed. We can't do it for under 18s either. There we go. So we can't squeeze a friendly in there, which is a bit of a shame. RJ, welcome in, my dude. How are you doing? Lovely to see you. It's going well. It is going well. That's a moment, man. I don't know if it's the YouTube Twitch delay, but anytime you celebrate a goal, you just look like you're screaming for help over the song. There is a slight delay between when I'm on Twitch. I have in-ear headphones rather than the wired one, so there's a slight delay between the songs playing on the computer and me hearing them. So you get that slight lag for a little bit of fun. So sorry, let me catch up there. We do have the mini games are working. Beautiful. Twitch appears to have normalized. You're actually sad. They should have pushed the changes into production as they're about to leave the office and enter the weekend. Like a man. Oh god, I get it as someone who probably works in the same situation. That mistake has happened so many times in the past. The important thing is not just to leave the office, but also turn off your phone as well. Right. Okay, so let's head on over and play a round of Guess the Player. Now, for those of you who haven't played Guess the Player before, let me explain the rules. Nice and straightforward. You're about to see 4 pictures from a player's profile in FM24, one after the other. You're going to see that the positions that they play, their attributes and traits, their coach report, and then their club history. Your job is to guess who the player is. Earliest to guess gets the points. Earlier you guess, the more points you get. And that's what that lovely little scoreboard down there is. A word of note, this is the player. The players are at the beginning of the game default database on FM24. So a player like Joshua Zirkzee, for example, would be at Bologna still, not at Man United. Just something to be aware of. So is it Vinny Samways? It is not Vinny Samways, I'm afraid to say. But this is going to be our very first clue. Vinny Sideways. Is it John Joe Patrick Finn? I genuinely love that name. It's incredible. RJ's sweating just looking at me in my hoodie. I am regretting the hoodie. It was a little bit cooler when I put it on earlier, but we will be down to t-shirts, I think, tomorrow, almost certainly. So here come the guesses now. Could it be Haaland? Could it be Højbjerg? Could it be Van Basten? Or Gyökeres? Or Guendouzi? or Martinez, or Osimhen, or Vlahovic, or more Højlund coming in. It's none of these people, I'm afraid to say. It is, however, it's not Tony Cottee, I'm sorry. It would be lovely if it was Tony Cottee, but you guys are right. We are looking for that poacher style of striker, that fox in the box kind of player. So could it be Icardi? Could be Icardi. Could it be Immobile? Also, keep in mind this is a player that could be a deep line forward, a complete forward, an advanced forward. He could basically be everything but a false nine. So could it be Jamie Vardy or Dusan Vlahovic? Let's move on to the next clue, see if that helps at all. And then let's skip that clue and move on to the one after that. And skip that clue and move on to the one after that. And then finally reveal that once again, Zerachul has come in with a 5-pointer. And I thought by heading off to Turkey for a change, maybe it'd be a little bit more of a time before Zerachul would be able to get it. But no, sensational work. Sensational work. It is indeed Mauro Icardi. An FM legend indeed. And an absolute turd of a human being as far as I can gather. Just not a pleasant man whatsoever. And it's a good opportunity for me to call him a turd of a human live on the internet. The applause is now coming in from Medical Car, from FMGNG. We've got applause from DM Bassist as well, and from Red Up. Not sure how, but still incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. The man just seems to just like have an encyclopedia of just every player. He knows. I start to wonder if there's exactly that. I think there should be an economy in this. I'm happy to sell you the answers ahead of time. So I guess we're back to the game. Fabulous stuff. I've got to. You see, I'm always trying to find that balance between making it too obscure and not making it too easy. And I think I need to keep on pushing it a little bit further away, a little bit tougher each time. Because we don't want to be South Parking it up, So it's the Mulder killer. Remember Mulder actually being the better team against Gala, but Icardi was just lethal in his finishing. I mean, he is the most appropriately named poacher, because that is what he is. Sensational. Get him the ball like within 12 yards of the goal and he will score. Expect him to do much else? Yeah. Quality player. So Ladislav, our massive fan, reckons it's a Musterman burner account. Does seem that way. Although my knowledge of Norwegian football isn't good enough to be able to get away with that. I can't wait for Only Bingo. At least I get to play. Indeed, RJ. He was amazing in that game. Fair enough. So, what was I going to say? We will have Bingo tonight. We have Top 10. We also have an Only Connect that I think is quite good. Not like a crazy catch you all out. A nice, good, interesting football connection that I'm looking forward to. So hopefully that's something to work towards. Now, as you know, we're streaming Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday this week, so no Friday the 13th stream. What plans do people have for the weekend? I mean, a lot of people talking about it getting warm, so are the majority of you going to be just staying inside with aircon on, hoping to avoid heat as much as possible? Or am I projecting now? Because I think that is basically my plans now for the rest of the summer. The entirety of the summer is going to be sat about 4 inches away from an aircon unit, and hoping that I can just about survive. Right, let's see. Happy with Benato's development. Yeah, home game against Leche. We will stick with this. We should be fine. Nuama will be back in time. Obviously, we've had, like last stream, we started with that 3-0 win against Leche. It was at home, to be fair. And then everything else was just kind of very, very tight and nervy. So we're not going to get carried away yet, but that is an encouraging start. So Sherbs, it's going to be coursework and dinner with the girlfriend's parents. Oh God, both of them are stressful. That's not what you want for a weekend. Zerachul, it's your sister's daughter turns 2 this weekend. It's a family barbecue. Then you and the wife probably going to the cinema. Looking forward to it. Now that sounds quite nice. Have you Are you going to watch a specific film, or are you just going to head on down and see what you fancy on the night? RJ, KDB is officially at Napoli. Indeed, I saw they tweeted earlier with him on a throne. It does feel like the perfect move. Just Serie A feels like the perfect move for KDB at this point in his career. Somewhere where it's a little bit warmer, so the game is a little bit slower. That said, Napoli have a lot of willing runners. You've got your McTominays running from deep. You've got players in and around that are quite happy to buzz around, which should work nicely. But it can be quite a chaotic system, so there is an element of seeing how that goes. A promising sign: midfielders, strikers possibly coming up in our youth intake. I mean, I know that news article means absolutely nothing. By the time it comes round, it'll be entirely different, almost certainly. So Landesham's going to be watching the F1, watching brother play football and sleeping. That sounds like a pretty good set. It's Canada this weekend, isn't it, for the F1? I've never truly warmed to the Canadian Grand Prix. Just like, there's nothing wrong with it. Just I don't get excited. It's just there. I mean, to be fair, probably say that about most tracks on the calendar nowadays. So Dan Bass is possibly going to visit the old man for Father's Day. However, Ringo might not be well, so might stay at home to monitor him a bit more closely. We shall see. Fair enough. I mean, I'm guessing that if Ringo isn't well, travel is out of the equation for him. So you couldn't bring Ringo with you when visiting the old man. So Rich, welcome in, by the way. The forecast for up north is pissing rain and thunder and lightning. Perfect weather for going out. That sounds like my ideal weekend. So let's have a massive, probably some Club World Cup watching too. Indeed, that is a fair point. Triangles is in. Welcome in, lovely to see you. You're going to be making a rare Sunday League appearance. Oh, that should be fun. Whereabouts do you play? What is your primary position on the pitch, Triangles? So Zerachul's going to go for the Thunderbolts, the new Avengers. A fine choice. KDB is 26 in Serie A years. He should be fine. He should indeed. He's so Dan Basis, we're not sure with Ringo. Feels like his stomach's a bit inflated, bloated. Been treating him for worms, although I'm not sure how a 14-year-old indoor cat suddenly gets worms. But if it doesn't improve over the next day or two, we're getting him to the vet. That's understandable. I hope there is a speedy recovery for Ringo. Right, we've got the report through for Mikael Emil Christensen Haller. So as we see, he's been scoring his goals from attacking midfield. Apparently he likes to pass rather than score, which is a bit of a concern. It's not really ideal. 23, 6'1". The scouting report has no concerns about injuries or consistency. Let's see here. Doing kind of all right. Pretty decent in expected assists as well as his goals. Quite quick. Good defensive metrics as well. Could be quite interesting. Pardon me. Welcome in, by the way, Fonseca. Thank you very much for the follow.
It's not the statistics. You tell me. How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
And thank you very much for the subscription, Fonseca, as well. It's not the statistics. Oh, with your Prime, you only get one of those a month. You've chosen to use it here, so I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Rich, what channels are the Club World Cup broadcast on? All the fine channels accessible by legalstreams.com and Channel 5 apparently. Perfect. So no travel if unwell for Ringo. Mrs. D&B has some health issues and would possibly struggle to get him to the vet if it becomes an emergency, so I wouldn't want to risk it. Understandable. So Zerachul says Napoli doing well with Premier League leftovers. They are, aren't they? Welcome in, Levski Sophia. Lovely to see you. 23-year-old was Norwegian. He can buzz. He's okay now then, isn't he? He's okay now. So welcome in, Katie. Lovely to see you. The skin is different. This is one that is available. This is one that I've been just playing around with in my own kind of spare time. There is a version very similar, but not exactly the same, available to Patreons. But it only works under certain resolutions and things like that. So just something to to be mindful of if that is something that you're interested in. Now, it's the soundboard not going off again. Disappointing. So he looks all right. I would prefer better jumping. I prefer better bravery for a poacher. His finishing isn't great either, to be fair.
We are in Champions League, man.
That was my next
Dilly
question.
dilly dong, come on.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
On a needle. Dale, you gentlemen, thank you very much. 8 months.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Out of those, it is most definitely sometimes may be good. Very, very much appreciated. So the Twitch API seems to have been restored. It does look like it. We did manage to redeem a game a little bit earlier as well. Although the soundboard seems to be a little bit slow to respond, at least. So Fonseca, you really like the videos about Moneyball. It's a way to say thank you. It is very much appreciated. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So let me just check up there. So Benny was just testing. That's perfect there. Welcome in, Sir Darish, as well. Lovely to see you, my dude. Yeah, Fonseca, who do you support? Who are you playing with in Football Manager at the moment as well? I mean, the same questions to you, Sir Darius. Welcome in. Lovely to see you. Who do you play FM with at the moment? I would love to know. We've got our next game against Leche. We're dropped back down to 4th. That's understandable with all those games. So can you tell me how you find regens with your skin? So actually, it's kind of covered in the Everton series on YouTube. Ultimately, it's exactly the same way that I'm looking for regular players as well. If you find that there are young players who are standing out in a particular area, you're ideally wanting them to play at least in out on loan potentially, or in the lower divisions somewhere, and you're looking for players that are performing well despite their tender age, or you trust your scouts, and that's you know, some of the fun that can come about is by giving your trust and maybe accepting that you might sign someone who's not necessarily that good. So Rich isn't interested in the CWC, but you are keen to see Joe Bellingham at Dortmund. How do you feel about the Joe move? £30 million is a decent old fee, isn't it? A decent fee. So RJ, what were you saying there? So I missed some comments from RJ. MK Dons. Maybe. So Fonseca, playing in Portugal with Académico Visu. Awesome. How's it going? So as I've using this skin, you don't look for regens, instead you just happen to find them. Indeed, you stumble upon them. And you are grateful that they happen to have arrived. I think we go unchanged. So we'll give Benato the start. No, we won't. We'll give Kerem the start. We will go proper old man up front with 33-year-old Alexander Isak and 34-year-old Kerem Aktürkoğlu. Why are you unhappy? Still over a team talk. Gonna bring in Zanotti. It's a full week, isn't it, until we play Bari, so we don't need to worry majorly about rotation. And let's make it 2 out of 2 to start the stream. That would be nice. Jaya Quez, I mean, I appreciate you. That is very, very kind. So Darius, you have 2 saves at the moment. One with Malaga after all season updates, and another saves with Zaglabi Lubin on the same skin as you play. Just won the league without loss for the first time. Congratulations, an invincible season is incredible. Well done, sir. Right, let's get these guys there. Let's make sure we've got our job right. So we don't have an attacking midfielder to worry about. So these guys are going to be matched up. Chiaravolo is on the left. So Chiaravolo will be watched by Rocha. Perfect. He's got the other midfielder then. So that's Tabuni. And that will see Kerem drop back onto the defensive midfielder, Hong Liang. And those bits should hopefully be fine. And then we'll go into the match and let's hope it goes well. So the Joe move was inevitable. It's sad to lose him, but good luck to the lad. A few people saying to me it's good money, but I think Dortmund are getting a very good player with a lot of room for progression. I mean, absolutely. That's kind of what I'm interested in asking about, because Like 30 million is a good amount of money, but is it on the low side? Is it on the high side? It's very, very hard to gauge where his value should be, because he's certainly showing a lot of promise. There is an element of whether he's been lifted a little bit by the Bellingham name, and so people are expecting to go for higher because of the fees that Bellingham was involved in, if you know what I mean. That makes it sound like he's... Oh, wow.
Milan, come together, clap your hands, save me. Storm goes AC Milan.
Boom, there's a good start. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that I feel
Honestly,
like people
I
expect
will
his
love it
value
if
to
we
be
beat
higher.
them. Love it.
Yeah, that's a good start. That is a good start. Troy Parrott is on the Leche. Let the Irishman squawk. Let's not in this game. We are not going to let him squawk in this game at all. Right, Nuama loses out to Perricini. Now a chance maybe for Leche to come away and counterattack. No, caught on the ball. Here's Nuama. Nuama straight at the keeper. Owusu do easy save.
Do I not like that?
I mean, that slight delay, that is perfect. Just as we missed the chance. Beautiful stuff. So, Darius, you have to admit that you learned to build better tactics because the skin. It's a huge alligator. I'll have you say thank you in Japanese. Bless you. Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear it. It's a way that obviously I like playing. I think it helps you consider a little bit more. So it can be a little bit more time consuming, but I think the rewards are there, and it's great to hear that you're enjoying it. Oh my word, Cole Palmer.
Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when the score goes. Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when the score goes. Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when the score goes. Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when the score goes.
That is a sensational goal from Carl Palmer. Incredible stuff. So 100% Gaming, welcome in, my man. You've been enjoying the Everton series. Fabulous. I might have to give Moneyball a go when my current challenge is complete. You absolutely need to give it a go. So RJ, Mr. Mustermann, do you get paid for all the YouTubers using your skin for money nowadays? If only, not at all, I'm afraid to say. Oh, welcome in Sizzling Manu as well, lovely to see you. The channel has reached South Africa, fantastic. I welcome in all. Well, actually, we've had quite a number of South Africans who've been in the chats at various times over the course of this save. It does help that we're all on the same time zone, doesn't it? But welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. Who do you support over there? Are you a fan of one of the big teams, the Kaiser Chiefs, the Mamelodi Sundowns, or are you one of the slightly more the more confusing teams, the ones that keep on selling and moving up and down divisions like crazy? Because that's what I love. I love me a little bit of Youth and Gathy. I think they sold off their license a couple of years ago and dropped down 4 years. But I had a great save with them. Right, we can definitely take another gear. We will stand here. We'll do the same malarkey as per usual. You can do better. We will pop back to the game and see 63% possession. We've got a lot of the balls, so let's up the tempo. Let's try and bring a bit more intensity to the second half. And fingers crossed we can get another big win as Kerem fires over, unfortunately, from the bar. Yusuf Fassar, welcome in, by the way. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for the follow. Do I like 3-back systems? I do like... Well, I mean, I like all systems, to be fair. Whilst I've got a particular fondness for 3-5-2s, thanks to certain eras of Aston Villa in the 90s. I'm not wed to 3-back systems. I'm not wed to 4-back systems either. I think it's always fun to explore and look at all the different strengths and weaknesses of different systems. As Kerem's in behind, Kerem forces the save out of Owusu Aduru. That should have been 3-0. So Job's fee is actually about 26 million. The add-ons can reach 32. Probably a fair price. There's always an unknown with young players. Lots of pressure on him because the name, but he's handled it really well. He does. I mean, this season he's really looked like he's coming into his own, which is great to see. Right, let's bring on pineapple pizza up front. Let's give Reinders a run out. That's 3 changes there. And then just save that last substitution for a little bit later. Pretty convincing scoreline here. Our last change will be Nuama off and Mosconi on. And here, let's see if we can get a third before the end of the game. Would be nice. We'll probably do a little round of demand more because we are at home. We are against the team in 16th. We should probably want to score at least a third goal. So can we do it from the free kick? Bernatto is lining it up. Lines up and forces a save. I mean, Uso-Aduro was able to get across quite easily. Probably should have caught it, in fact. I mean, he didn't even have to dive. He was still standing upright. Bless him. Bless him. Right, here's Monterisi. Can't get there. Bernatto gathers. Bernatto plays it across to Reinders. The pass is loose, though, and Albanese comes away with it. Australian Prime Minister Albanese comes away with the ball. Bernatto to Zanotti. Reinders now. There's 5 minutes of injury time. Plenty of time to get that third goal that we want. So someone's been busy with the songs. They have indeed. They have. Although that one is a belter. I don't know which one you're referring to either, unfortunately. They are all of questionable quality. Let's be fair. Ballon d'Or. Pipe down, Rio. Pipe down, Rio. Zerachul is kind of sad that Nipon went for only £12.5 million, hoping for 15 to 17. I'm surprised he was available so cheap as pineapple pizza off the underside of the bar, but the flag has gone up. The flag has gone up. It always looks good when it comes off the underside of the bar. Let it stand. It won't stand. Boo. Boo. The Vapors. That is a niche reference indeed. I did come close to going even more niche, DM Bassist, and using the Kirsten Dunst cover version of the song, which would have been something for sure. 2-0. Good result. Good result. Got to be happy with that. I would have liked more goals, but we're not going to turn it down. Johan's another South African here as well. Welcome in, my dude. So Sizzling Mano, you're an Orlando Pirates fan. Oh, fantastic. Now, can I think of any Orlando Pirates players off the top of my head? I'm going to probably be at a little bit of a loss there. I'm trying to think, was Kermit Erasmus... Did Kermit Erasmus go back there after his time at Feyenoord? I'm trying to... I genuinely... well. Benny McCarthy. There's a shout. There we go. There's a shout. So there we go. Surati raises beyond Fjord fitness concerns. We know about that. That's the scout report through for Douglas. Douglas is in an inactive league, so he's over in Brazil. So this is where the attributes are going to matter. Another one with poor bravery, 6'1". He has been winning a good amount of headers. Just the veracity of that information is great. Questions about adaptability, but otherwise okay. 110 goals in 224. Like, we'll keep him on there, but I'm not excited that by the way. So was Bryce Ambina as godlike when playing in South Africa as he is now? There's a great name. So when is today's video being released to the public? Sizzling Mino, today's video is members only. So that's what was mentioned on the post on YouTube. It is a special members only video, just a retrospective, an hour of me wittering on like an insane man, much like these streams really. So come on, my man Pizza. I did not know that cover existed, and now I'm sad that I do. It's not awful. It's not good, but it's not awful. Only 2-0 against the Leche B team. We'll take it. We will take it. That is one of our better results this season. And then we will round out against Bari before we then head into January. Now, Isaac has scored 4 goals this season, 3 in 1 game. So that's probably not enough to stave off his replacement. But then he was never going to be a long-term part of the plan. So Triangle says that cover is fire. The music video is kind of hilarious. The music video is very, very, very awful. So yes, he did, says Sizzling Mano. Beautiful. Dane Clarte, Upa Manisa, Andile Jali. Now there is a football manager legend, if ever I've heard one. Leabang Makwana. My word. Yes. So many. There's been an absolute crazy pipeline of good South African players. So the first one that comes across in my head is like Dr. Khumalo going back into the 90s, and I think he ended up over at the New York Cosmos for a while as well. But I do feel like there's been a little bit of a drop off on recent years. Who's the star players at the moment for the national side? We're looking at Percy Tau, obviously, great player. I know it didn't work out for him at Brighton, but he's a cracking player. Electric pace. I kind of think of Themba Zwane as well, if he's still going. Good player. But Ronwen Williams as well, of course. Ronwen Williams is a great goalkeeper. But yeah, I struggle to think of current South African players outside of that. 30 minutes of talking and 30 minutes of struggling to think. Yes, that is a fair description of today's video. A lot of trying to formulate the ideas. But that's kind of hopefully the joy of it. It's nice to see a slightly more accurate representation of the thought process. Crub Mode, these streams are 3 hours of listening to you wittering on like an insane man. Exactly. I was hatless on the video. It was quite erotic. So any targets for the next? We've got a whole host, hopefully. DM Basis says, oh shit, Ndile Jali as well. What a player. Dr. Khumalo is the GOAT. See, we're showing our age here. We all know that there is a certain era. Right, Anita Hammett is down with an injury. We'll be back in time for the Bari game. No major concerns there. So Claire says, Calvert depends on what you want. Easier to make signings the first window by doing so, but there are still attributes to get you started. I've missed the comment from Calvert. I do apologise. So is there a way you can play this skin without holidaying forward here? So yeah, I mean, exactly what he says. You can still use attributes. That's, you don't have the same amount of detail, but, and I know that the layout here is slightly different to what you've got on the regular one, but you can easily see here, Kajuste is elite aggression, elite work rate. We can see that his weaknesses are dribbling, finishing, crossing. So we already have a reasonable idea of what kind of player he is. And then you play through pre-seasons, you make your judgments. Maybe towards the end of that first transfer window, you have some data on players if you want to judge on that basis. And certainly by the January transfer window in that first season, you can absolutely make judgments. Stephen Pienaar, another quality player, of course. Rivaldo Kurtzi was always a good shout. Injury ruined his move to Celtic. Isn't that the story of so many players? Right, Pineapple Pizza now unfortunately is out injured for 3 weeks. He's had a pretty rough time of things. He's missed some big chances. He's had goals disallowed, and now he's about to get injured as we look to bring in some more striker competition. Shabalala was a legend. And wasn't it Shabalala who scored the opening goal of the South Africa World Cup as well? What an incredible result that was. What an incredible result that was. World sport is a farm nowadays. So many goats everywhere. Indeed. And if anyone knows about farms, it will be you, RJ. No new contract for youth players. That's fine. That's all left to the assistant manager or director of football or youth director, one of them. Cat Lego and Failer was another one that you used to sign a lot. Nice player there. Themba Zwane is our Messi. Would you, Mainu, do you rate Themba Zwane above Percy Tau? That would be incredible. So Zerichel has a story about Macbeth Sibaya. Your old coach was mediocre in English, so he had told the players to come to training in a running suit. So he did come running in a suit, not in training clothes. It was hilarious. That's incredible. That must have been the most horrible training session ever. So Rich has only just seen this. Not as people think Jack Clark will help you through. So there we go. This is where you need the Sunderland specific knowledge. Exactly. Goal Bafana, indeed. So how do you think he would do after giving him Pineapple Pizza as a nickname? It's a fair point indeed. Yep, that Shabalala goal is so memorable to me. I mean, it feels like there was this golden era of like African football in Like with Senegal beating France in, was it 2006 in the opening game? And like you had this time where like everything was trending in the right direction. It's really exciting. They came to World Cups and it was really fun. Like, oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. So DM Basis from Liboang McQuainer's wiki. He's also extremely famous for being featured on FM 2005 as a high potential and relatively cheap signing. I mean, there were so many great players. That was the Andile Charlie era as well, wasn't it? Jeffrey, welcome on in. What a fine name you have, Jeffrey, even if you don't spell it correctly. I'm glad you enjoyed the last video. Lovely to see. His first club was Aston Villa Durban. There we go. The Ghana World Cup runs, robbed by Uruguay. And then was it around 2010 era as well. You had Zambia winning the African Cup of Nations against all odds, which was all really, really cool as well. Right, so Rich is going to the shop before it pisses down tomorrow. Matty Zax has come in and followed. Welcome in, Matty. Thank you very much for the follow. I'm about to go on a break for roughly about 3 minutes because we've got one coming up. And then when we're back, we'll head into the game against Bari. So I will see you guys shortly. Right, and we are back in time for the next game against Bari. So Jeff, potato. Indeed, I suppose if you pronounce potato as potato rather than potato, exactly. And if no one was here before the break, none of that will make sense at all. So then, basis, you've had a lovely day up here, and the sky has just turned black. Well, you did say it was meant to be pissing it down with rain tomorrow, so evidently it's here just a little early. So changes for this game, just the two. Going to bring Anita Hammer in for Zanotti, restoring him from the last game, and going to give Reinders the start. So Reinders hasn't had a start for a while. Let's see if we can get him go, but we'll keep Kerem up front, and we'll see how this one goes. Away against Bari, struggling in the league. We've struggled against teams struggling in the league. So we'll see how it goes. No one says it potato. Yep, indeed, they all say potato. Indeed. It's perfect for you to stick on some great plague-themed Nordic black metal, no? I mean, there's a very, very specific suggestion. Right, we're sticking to no pressure. And I have faith. We are checking what they're doing. It's another 3-5-2. So let's again make sure they're marked up. Broccoli on the left. Sergio Broccoli is not a name that we've changed. Oh, we are so scouting Sergio Broccoli. Absolutely. I mean, he's not been that good. He's been playing mainly as an attacking midfielder, but sometimes a central midfielder. And he doesn't really do much that impacts the final third. But he's called Sergio Broccoli, so that's what matters. He's on the left. He needs to be picked up by the guy on the right. So Rocha should have Broccoli. You should have Ivanisevic. That means Actor Koglu should sit on the defensive midfielder, which is Texera. And that should be good to go. Cool, let's hope this goes. So why exactly do you need a hammer? I mean, well, it all comes from school days, really. Because if I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. And sometimes I need to hammer in the morning, and therefore I need a hammer. I need a hammer indeed. Sergio Broccoli looks a little green to me. But, beautiful. He does lack a little iron, indeed. Indeed, beautiful. Here's Palmer looking to make it 1-0. Shot is blocked. Comes all the way back to Rocha. He finds Bjornrod. Bjornrod is going to take it very wide and then can't get the pass inside. Does keep hold of it though. Rocha now out to Anita Hammer. Anita Hammer drives forward. Anita Hammer fires it massively over. He was only 8 yards out. How he managed to get that much height on it was beyond me. Incredible miss. Right, now Fazzini wins the ball, but Nuama gets it back. Isaac to Reinders. Reinders pushing forwards. Here's Isaac. Gathers it nicely. Oh, and he places it wide from there. The goalkeeper went the other way. He just needed to just a little bit more composure. Bless him. Bless him. Right, it's time for Miranda's versus Racing Santander. Let's go Sardines. Beautiful stuff. And Crodmo, fun fact, Ravanelli's surname translates as radishes. Beautiful. That's a good name. Can we get a full team worth of Italian food stuff? We've got Kevin Lasagna. Obviously, Kevin Lasagna is going to play up front alongside Fabrizio Radishes. Right, Srdanovic comes away with it. Now Teixeira loses out to Rocha. We're doing a good job of winning our battles in the middle of the pitch now. Palmer's going to drive down the left, going to send that cross in. Goes through Wozak, and there's Nuama to make it 1-0. Boom, that will do very, very nicely. Anita Hammer hammered it over. Niccolo Fagioli is Nicky Beans. Okay, so we've now got a 4-man team. One of them, granted, Sergio Broccoli doesn't actually exist. But we've got Sergio Broccoli and Niccolo Beans in midfield. We've got Kevin Lasagna and Fabrizio Radishes up front. We must be able to there must be more players out there. A full Italian team of food would be incredible. Right, we've been the better team. I think we can feel pretty comfortable on that side. I'm going to say happy. We're going to bring off Navarro for Bockers. We're going to increase the tempo as we have done in every game so far. And then let's see if we can carry this on into the second half. I hope. So Cromwell has a Kevin Lasagna shirt, and amazing. That sounds amazing. Ib Guzma, welcome in. What skin are you using? I am using, well, there's what has been linked there wonderfully by Crudmo. Thank you very much, my dude. So I'm using Musterman Modern. It isn't a publicly available skin, I'm afraid. It is available for patrons it only works with certain resolutions. So if it is something you're interested in, I recommend heading over to the Patreon, reading the README, and see whether you think something along those lines is worth it. I wouldn't consider signing up for the Patreon for the skin alone. But I think the full suite of benefits out there are worth it. Right, we have seen a couple of highlights for Bari, even if momentum hasn't shifted in their way. So we might need to drop our tempo back down a little bit. Just make sure we've got some control. Here is Bockers, though. Can we get a second, perhaps? Palmo returns it to Bockers. Bockers sends the cross in. It's low. It's easily gathered by Esposito. There were two players at the near post. Just needed one of them. Just one of them to get a touch on it. So Bjorn Rod to Bockers. The highlight hasn't ended. So maybe there's something still to come here. We're just building up very, very sensibly from the back. But, oh, Monterisi's given it away. D'Alessio comes away with it. D'Alessio, he gets to the byline, feeds Broccoli. Sergio Broccoli returns it back. Oh, no, he's on the floor. He's on the floor. Atabolo. Oh, fuck off. Not Pietro Rolando. Now, I don't know how many of you remember Pietro Rolando. We've got to go all the way back to our third season with IFK Mariaham. Pietro Rolando was the man that stopped us from having an unbeaten season. The one game we lost was to a Pietro Rolando header at the far post whilst he was on loan at Ilves from a corner. Fuck you, Pietro Rolando. Anita Hammer to Isaac. Isaac now. Holds the ball up, back inside. Kerem looks for an immediate response, and there we get it.
Go for the fans, it's because AC Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands. Goals for the fans, it's because AC Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands.
A perfect response. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So if you expand it to other nations, Robin Hack is Robin Mintz. That is amazing. That is amazing. I would like to see a debate on TV between the British political satirist and all-round smug dick Robin Ince versus Robin Mintz, just because their names are virtually the same. The team manager could be Victor Asparago or Vic Asparagus. I mean, I'd be quite keen to put forward Jerry Pepper on that basis. That's for sure. I'm saying, Ib Guzma, you are currently at season 6 at Liverpool in your save, and you had a takeover in season 3. Sounds fantastic. You must be winning a lot. I would expect with Liverpool, you must be doing quite well, surely. Right, on comes Mosconi for Isaac. We will drop that tempo down. See if we can just make sure we've got a little bit more control once more in this second half. See things out if we can. DM basis, your neck is a well-cooked piece of asparagus. Now we're getting personal. Zerachul, he scored against us last season too, didn't he? He did. I hate Pietro Rolando. Here's Kerem though. Hopefully we can put it all behind us as Kerem lines one up from distance, and that is harmlessly over. Rod is looking tired, so we're going to make a change. The heart of our defence. We're going to swing them over. We're also going to bring on Benato. Yep, they don't need anything more said to them. They're in the right kind of mentality for it. Rolando is our nemesis, exactly. He really traumatized you if you remember that from season 3. Absolutely. Especially considering I can barely remember what I did yesterday. It's been sitting there for a while. No, it's just you remember, like, when there are unnotable things, you remember them, right? And that is a moment within the save that was memorable, even if it is all for the wrong reasons. Along with us scoring that comical own goal and with Billy Kamecha as, no, there we go, no hammer.
Milan have scored again. Yes, Milan, the score night and day. You can
I hate the 80s. But that song in particular reminds me of an old flatmate, a massive flock of seagulls fan, which is a sentence I don't think I would have ever imagined saying before meeting him. I struggle to believe that there is such a thing as a massive flock of seagulls fans, but yet they ended up being a roommate. So there we go. Triangles, the most famous food man of them all, Daniel Ceballos, also known as Danny Onions. Danny Onions is a fine name indeed. So I'm going to get your name wrong every single time I try and read it. I do apologise, Guzma. Your main players is Bradley, Hincapi, Howson, Soboslai, Bargi, Wirtz, and Victor Roque, to name a few. Fabulous stuff. We have an extension, so if we've got Danny Ceballos, and then we've got Everton Cebalina, or the Little Onion. Now, is Little Onion a small onion, or is that another term for, say, like a spring onion, or maybe a shallot? Is he Everton Shallot? Because shallots don't get enough love, but they are a wonderful foodstuff. Right, let's get these guys rested up. Let's clear out the team before the next game. Let's see where we are with our scout priority. Sorry. So we're still waiting on the report for Piccoli. We'll give it a couple of days, and then we'll probably start looking at putting some bids in. So your hovercraft is full of eels. Gotta love a little bit of Python. So Ladislav wants to know, any championship watchers know much about Kian Best of Preston? Who's he been linked with? I know nothing about him, I'll be honest. But who's he been linked with then, Ladislav? I'm guessing that's not a Chelsea link. No, surely not. So DM Base, boring through your mind, through your tummy, through your anus. Eels, exactly. RJ, when you were still playing FM, you had to go back to see what happened last game. Yeah, I can't remember what happened in the games earlier on today, but moments, specific moments. So 5 seasons ahead, no way indeed. Welcome in, Retro Gamer. How are you doing, sir? Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. How's your save going at the moment? Now, if you guys aren't following Retro Gamer, absolutely worth a little check out. It's doing a wonderful save with Newcastle, where he had to try and sign a retro save, try and sign the same players at the same time, which was going absolutely fabulous. Really worth a follow. So let's head on over. We've got a mystery mini game redeemed, and we're going to play a round of Only Connect. So let's head on over to Only Connect, and let me explain the rules for those of you that maybe haven't been here before. In a few moments, you're going to see pictures of 4 different players, one after the other. They all share some kind of common connection. You know, maybe they've all played for the same team, or under the same manager, or come from the same academy, or something along those lines. Your job is to work out the connection, hopefully before all the clues are revealed, and the earlier you get it right, the more points you get. And those points end up on that lovely little leaderboard right down below there. So yeah, that's the way it's going to work. So let's head on over and see the first clue. And the first clue is this fact pillar. Now, if you know who the people are in the pictures, do pop it into chat, because not everyone's going to know, and it's just a good way of helping everyone kind of be on the same page, even if it is a semi-competitive little mini game. So Ladislav, our massive fan, says who off the top. And also, you do say that he has been linked with Chelsea, but it doesn't even look realistic for Strasbourg. That does seem a surprise indeed. So Cromwell says it's George Boateng. It is indeed George Boateng, the man whose head is so ridiculously strong that it broke Paul Gascoigne's arm. Quite famously, Paul Gascoigne elbowed George Boateng in the head and broke his arm in doing so. So Cromwell, he threw someone's boots into the crowd after they had a scrap on the pitch. He did indeed. So Maestro is going to guess that everyone's surname is going to be Boateng. That is fine. Zerachol is going that they might all be African players, which is also a very fine guess. So Ladislav, our massive fans, going for all have middle names that are the same as current Chelsea under-21 players' surnames. What is George Boateng's middle name then? It's not that. So Boateng is also ex-Middlesbrough. Indeed, that was the thing that. So it was at the time Middlesbrough's Paul Gascoigne against former Middlesbrough midfielder. So we've got all African players that played for European nations. Is a fine guess. Players who won a title with Aston Villa. Sadly, he didn't. Sadly, he joined after we won the League Cup in '96. Car sponsor shirts. Got the Subaru there. Genesis Antwi. There we go. All have played for Aston Villa, all scored in the AFCON final, all fabulous guesses, all going for same colour shirts. Let's give you the next clue. So we've got 2 guesses that are quite similar. We've got all African players that played for European nations. We've also got all played national games for another nation than they were born in. Very, very similar guesses. Neither of them are correct. They might not be far off though. Could it be that they're all Coventry players? Sadly not. Is it they played in Greece? Ladislav, our massive fan, isn't sure who this one is. Does anyone know who this one is? This is probably the trickiest one to recognise, but he's a little bit more modern than George Boateng, which is the reason why he came up as the second clue rather than the first one. I mean, even Crodmo hasn't said anything. Which doesn't bode well. So Maestro, have they scored against the country they are born in? That's a fine guess. It's not that either, I'm afraid. Is it Matteo Joseph? It isn't. It is, however, as Ladislav, our massive fan, has pointed out, it is Jonathan de Guzman. Was that a little bit of reverse search there then? It is Jonathan de Guzman. The better of the Guzman brothers, I would say. So we've got Dutch players, says Ib Guzman, and then we've got Zerachul saying all players playing for Holland not born there. And Draw just moments after goes for played for the Dutch national team despite not being born in the Netherlands. And indeed, I am afraid to say, Draw, Zerachul has beat you to the punch, because next would be Luke de Jong, followed by Clarence Seedorf. It is indeed Dutch international players that weren't born in the Netherlands. So Boateng was born in Ghana, de Guzman in Canada, Luke de Jong in Switzerland, and Seedorf in Suriname after Suriname had got independence from the Netherlands. So we had to be very, very specific there, that I wasn't going to include them whilst they were still technically Dutch territory. That is fabulous work, and an amazing 3 points going the way of Zerachul. So Cromwell says Zerachul shouldn't get any points for that, as he spelled Holland wrong, and the country's called Netherlands anyway. Indeed, I mean, ignoring the fact that Holland is spelt wrong, it's technically incorrect, but we will give it. We will certainly give it. So Ladislav, our massive fan, we had this a few months ago. I don't think we've had certainly some general ones that might be similar. Just played for different, but this was all very specific to the Netherlands for a change. De Guzman won the League Cup with Swansea. Michu's golden season. He did indeed. A dim basis, isn't that basically every Dutch international ever? That might be fair as well. Right, let's head on back over to the stream. So we've got some shortlisted players who are Jokeres. We could get him for cheap. We've already got so many old players. He's not necessarily quite the poacher that we're looking for, but here is our shortlist. We still don't have the final report back from Piccoli. We've only got a couple of days left, so let's have a look here. Sergio Broccoli is being scouted. We're not fussed about that right now. We looked at Haller. Haller has less than ideal bravery for a striker role. I think he's not a natural striker. Less than ideal bravery, less than ideal finishing. Probably isn't top of our list. Pardon me. Stefano Bua here is doing well down in Serie B. Winning headers 47% is really good. He's also creating, which is brilliant. But obviously it's a much lower level. 21 years old to come in and be our talismanic striker. I'm not so sure. That said, good bravery. I do like aggression. I would like better jumping if possible. Better off the ball I definitely want for a poacher. First touch is less important. Double-footed is quite nice. His contract's about to expire, so we might look at him as maybe a long-term option, perhaps, instead of being the main. Actually, let's see what the deal is. Let's say we're looking at a few. He'd want a wage of basically nothing. Yeah, sure. Bring him in as a youngster. Maybe he isn't going to make it, but he's doing a good job down in Serie B, so, that might well be worth Doing that, we'll remove those. We'll move that up to 3k, and we'll see if we can make it a 4-year deal. So we've got him for a little while, and we can always flip him for profit potentially, but not guaranteed, but potentially. So James, Football Manager still names the international team as Holland. It doesn't anymore. It doesn't anymore. I'm pretty certain that as of FM24, they became the Netherlands. So they are in the game. That's not a name fix thing. That is how they appear in the game as of this edition, I believe. Right, so we're giving incorrect answers now. No wonder that Norwegian's top of the table. Yeah, just purely to spite you as well, Crodmo. Oh, look, you spelled Norwegian wrong. Irony. Give a point to Crodmo for misspelling. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I will give... Crodmo, I'm giving you a point for misspelling. I'm also docking you a point for supporting Everton. Oh, what were the messages that have been deleted from Zerachal? You know where I sit on this little argument between you two. So Norway are top of their group in the World Cup qualifiers after what a crazy result. So Retro Gamer, how do you get that skin with the bigger names at the top? Well, this is the kind of thing that I do, Retro Gamer. This is what I'm one of the little messing around with skinning that I've been doing. So it's not a publicly available one though, unfortunately. So Juan Carlos Coto, 44% header win rate, massively outperforming his XG with no penalties, currently playing in the top division in Spain. That generally looks good. Adaptability issues. Offside a lot. Pace is mentioned as his main thing. Again, lacks bravery, but really good off the ball. Koto might be a genuine contender. I'm not 100% convinced on him at the moment, but might be a genuine contender. All right, James, it's changed. It's still Holland and FM. Yes, and FM23 is indeed. DM Bassist, 1-1 Racing versus Menendez already. 4-4 on aggregate. That is crazy. That is crazy. Kvez, just to make you even happier, you also misspelled it recently, but still got points. The Vikings are definitely all being given favourable treatment over Crudmo. He called me Crapmo and got timed out. Okay, that's fair. I agree with that entirely. So Retro Gamer likes that. I think it's quite clean. You should. I've got a video coming up. Hopefully, I hope it will be next Friday. But we've taken a look at how to build a skin from scratch. And I'm very excited by it. So I was looking at kind of what the essence is. Ignore what's in FM and asking the question, what should be on an overview page and how we go about it. And the matching criteria, somewhat surprisingly, was very similar to the screenshots for FM25. So I have recreated the FM25 skin that we never got to see, or at least the player profile page. But I can't use it right now because it's got attributes on it. So Gyökeres, I mean, technically good finishing, good, okay off the ball. He's got the bravery. He's got the endurance. He's got the natural fitness. So, you know, I'm not expecting these to decline massively. He could be the option. He could actually be the option. I don't like moves into channels for a poacher. That is my biggest concern there. But he's doing a little bit of everything. And he's playing as a striker. It's not that he's been played out wide. No major cons. Gyökeres is pretty good. Pretty good option there, I think. Right, Roberto Fernandez. He's been scoring at a crazy rate down in the second division, but 19 goals in 20 is not too shabby whatsoever. 0.95 from 0.59. 46% header win rate is good. Doesn't have any assists, but perhaps should do. I mean, well, not perhaps. He should have one for every 7 games. He should have about two Should have about 3 assists for the season, and that's his players letting him down. No major concerns. Good first touch. Good pace. Professional. No standout attributes. His slow stamina. I mean, a poacher doesn't have to run around that much. That's not the worst thing in the world. Might be okay. He's not as exciting as the others, that's for sure. So, Ib Guzma, although you support Man United, you're managing Liverpool on FM24. It's not your choice. You played a draft with your friend, and your punishment for losing was either City or Liverpool. So I chose Liverpool, so I respect their history and club more than City. I mean, choosing between City or Liverpool is not a kind choice whatsoever for a United fan. So retro gamer wouldn't mind a retro skin. Well, maybe I can set the seeds of thoughts in your mind as to how to go about it. The quiz, attributes, exactly why it's why I'm not switching to it. I don't want to see any of that nonsense. So Fonseca, since you subscribe on the Twitch channel, do you have access to the YouTube members? No, unfortunately, YouTube and Patreon memberships are entirely separate. What the memberships for YouTube and the memberships for Patreon are exactly the same, however. So they're the exact same benefits, the exact same tiers. There is an additional tier on Patreon which includes a subscription to Prime. So it's like the top tier. The top tier is about £3.50 more than the next tier down, but with it you get a £5 or £6 subscription to Twitch. So that's kind of the thing. But no, Twitch itself doesn't give you access to those things. So a 34-year-old Gyökeres on a free screams of Inter bring. I mean, it does, but we've got Isaac, right? So it does feel like I'm more inclined towards like someone around 30 maybe. But then let's have a look at Frederick Nord. The season has just rolled over. So we're looking at a player that scored 6 goals in the Allsvenskan last season, 11 goals the season before that. That doesn't bode well, right? From a report point of view, one-footed maybe is the only real issue there. Doesn't take that many shots. I mean, 6 offsides over the course of the season isn't anything major there. Doesn't run much. But big matches, adaptable. Nothing about consistency. Good jumping, bad bravery. Bad passing. We've already got, right, okay, so we've got our young player in Stefano Bua, 21 years old. So maybe Frederick Nord isn't the option there, unfortunately. So Crudmo, picking between City and Liverpool is a difficult choice. Literally the worst football on earth. Horrible, immoral, capitalist bastards who've destroyed modern football. And the other choice is Man City. There we go. There we go indeed. Let's see. It's not kind, but for FM is a game where you should have fun. Exactly. Fun. Is that a DLC? Definitely there's some fun. Usually when you're not playing, like the thinking about FM bit is far more fun than the playing bit. So you just spend as much time on the thinking, like staring at pizza charts as possible. Right, so Piccoli. Now Piccoli, I do like the idea of 31 years old. That's a nice sweet spot for a target forward, right, in Italy. He's scored above 0.5 goals per game this season for Bologna. I think he scored against us last season. It's around what he's expected to score, so he's not massively outperforming. Winning not just a high percentage, 56%, but 7 headers a game is crazy. He's pressuring. No major cons, that's fine. We do need to see the rest of his scout report to know about injury proneness, but consistent, that's fine. Good personality. He can jump, does have bravery. First touch is okay. I do like Piccoli. I mean, there is a slight concern that it says that he's not for sale. That does feel like a possible barrier, but you know, things can be overcome, right? Right, Douglas Jr. here. Douglas, non-active league, but he has been scoring at a really good rate. We looked at him earlier. accessibility, adaptability problems, but consistent, good strength. Lacks bravery. Yeah, I'm gonna cut these guys off already. I wasn't feeling encouraged by Fernandez. But Esposito, 131 million euros might be a little bit too much for us. Just a little bit too much for us. RJ, but there's the suffering. You don't really play FM if you're not suffering. Well, that's the fun, isn't it? Isn't that what is the fun, right? FM is like real football. 98% hours of something, 2% joy. Exactly. Retro Gamer, have you found it hard with the big gap with FM in keeping the benefits going on Patreon? Well, I only started Patreon back in November anyway. But I feel like the offers on Patreon are really, really good. So with being a YouTuber first and foremost, there's often a lot of things that end up on the editing floor, right? So there's stuff that I think is really interesting, but doesn't necessarily serve the narrative of the video. I want to keep my videos down to about 20 minutes if possible. So there's stuff that gets cut out that's good content or something really interesting, but not 100% vital, or something that is almost vital, but I've just not got the skill to visualize it. So by being able to offer the director's cuts, I think that's a really, really cool little offer. And then obviously I've got the skins and the spreadsheets and the Moneyball stuff. So yeah, I hope that it represents value to people. I think it does. I think it's a really, really fair offering. I haven't had any issue with trying to, like, it naturally fits in with what I'm doing otherwise. So you suffered enough in real life, Ibgosma. 15th place in Europa League final loss. At least on FM you can relax and enjoy the game. I mean, I'm afraid to say you're not. Man United fans aren't going to get sympathy from me. As with so many teams, as a Villa fan, that have been relegated or fought relegation many years over the last 30-40 years. It's about time you get a chance to taste a little bit of it. I'll say to you what I said to every other Man United fans. You should have left with Sir Alex. That's a fair shout. So T. Detweiler, have you ever thought about starting a Discord where everyone interested in FM Moneyball can get together to share their processes, ideas, and have regular discussions about the game? Well, I mean, so in terms of the Discord, it isn't specifically about Moneyball, but there is already a Discord, Detweiler. Now, I have been told that the link in the YouTube description might not be accurate, or it's not working perfectly. So I'm not sure if that's the same one there. It might be, but try that out. If not, you should be able to pop over to my link tree, which I'll update after the stream. I'll update the videos after the stream as well, if that link has completely expired in every single place. So Esposito, scoring goals at a crazy rate, but 4 of them are penalties. Headers won, 67% is incredible. It's not getting shots off. It's not creating much for anyone else. I don't mind the not creating for a poacher. No issues there. The only issue is 131 to 161 million euros. Attribute-wise, jumping, heading, finishing, composure, perfect. Good off the ball still. Like, yeah, he's a good player. He fits the mould entirely for what we want. Napoli down in 9th. Maybe he ends up a little bit unsettled, but otherwise, probably not the guy we're looking for. So Thomas Frank is officially joining Spurs. Interesting. I wish him the best. I really like Thomas Frank. He's often started quite slow. So at Brentford in particular, it took a while for things to kind of drop into place. When he replaced Dean Smith, it looked like it was a really, really bad appointment for the first few months. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets the time to implement his ideas. I am worried that he might not get so. So the Quers, you knew someone who actually left, who stopped supporting Man United, claimed he was a Giggs fan more than a Man United fan. He dodged a real bullet. I mean, hindsight hasn't been kind to him either, let's be fair. I mean, claiming you're a Giggs fan is pretty bad stuff. Thank you for the hydrate. Man United fans don't understand suffering. A correction, DM basis. They don't understand suffering yet. There's still an opportunity to understand it. So Guzma, the fact we were the team to officially relegate Villa back in 2016, fair enough. I mean, Villa relegated Villa with every single game that season. My God, we were bad. Right, Silla here, scoring at a good rate. His header win rate is a little bit on the low side, so I'm already not feeling all that keen on him right now. Big matches are an issue, but he's consistent. Nothing said about adaptability. Kind of solid in limited minutes for Benfica. Was just left Inter, so that could obviously be quite fun. Before that, he spent the season on loan. I mean, I'm not... Oh, what about his attributes? Sorry, here. Another one that lacks bravery. I'm not feeling Silla. I'm not feeling Silla at all. Surprise, surprise, I'm not feeling Silla. Great idea. Make a Discord, for God's sake. Indeed. Retro Gamer, they should have been Newcastle fans under Ashley. Exactly. Oh, welcome in, Matto. I'm doing very well. How are you? We've had an okay stream. We've scored 8 goals in 3 games, which is a nice change. We've listened to a lot of new songs, and we have won all 3 of those games. And now we're looking at strikers. And Luis Vazquez now, another player, 31. That's a good age. Atalanta down in Serie B, so he's scoring above half a goal a game, but it is a level lower. That said, 56% header win rate's good. A couple of penalties are in that number. It's okay. No concerns in that regards. Consistency, big matches. Obviously, he's in Italy right now, so adaptability clearly isn't too much of an issue. He can jump. He is brave. So it doesn't stand out quite as much. But work rate, jumping, that's generally a good sign. A very likeable price tag. He spent a season out on loan at Nice, 12 goals. Not that special. Before that, a good season in Anderlecht. But he's generally not had a particularly great career so far, or not been involved in many games so far. And then Riccardo Braschi, a player described as a poacher, also playing in Serie B, under 0.5 goals per game now. 52% header win rate is okay. Injury prone. We'll say no to that. We will immediately discount him there. A lot of new gen strikers are massive cowards, aren't they just? Ulems, welcome in. So after flirting with relegation and losing a trophy to Tottenham, you felt quite flat. That's understandable. But remember, it can get worse. At last an Evertonian appears. Cromwell is happy for the arrival of Matto. I mean, we you know, there's a handful of you around. A handful. So let's see. Out of these, let's look at Sergio Broccoli. We do have extensive knowledge on him now. No concerns about consistency or big matches. He can pass. Okay with the terms of his physical profile. Left-footed Mazzala. Can play in attacking midfield. He's got really bad ratings. Yeah, he's not a good player in terms of being someone we should sign, but he could fit this role in terms of being a left-footed attacking midfielder. And he's called Sergio Broccoli. Is Haller left-footed? Haller's left-footed. Oh. Vision and flair. His passing isn't up there. Technique's good. His off the ball's good. Christensen Haller might now be a player that we consider. So let's have a look at these strikers again. Koto lacks bravery, so that probably discounts him. But 24 million Euro release clause is quite good. Gyökeres, 34 years old, but still in really good shape. We do currently have a 34-year-old Isaac up front. We might need someone a little younger. And that kind of leads me towards Roberto Piccoli. 31 years old. That's slightly better age profile. I don't have any major concerns with his attributes there. He is scoring at a good rate in Serie A. He did so last season as well. Even a 1 in 2 back in seasons where he wasn't playing much. There's been times where he hasn't played much. That's kind of fine. I'm not going to count them against him. The recent years generally looking about right. So Piccoli perhaps is my favoured choice here. Esposito far too expensive. Vasquez maybe. Let's see what they say. They are saying completely unsellable. Absolutely no doubt about it. Completely unsellable. So let's come in with a bid anyway. Do we unsettle? We try and unsettle. And we will say he's a good player. Not going over the top. Just hopefully enough to maybe make Bologna think about it. We will put a bid in for him at 15 mil. They say absolutely not. We move that up to 20 and we'll make the offer. I don't like the moves into channels, not for a poacher, but he really fits our old man team. Really fits our old man team. So let's see there. Zerachul, the last crazy person has not been born yet. I mean, that is true, but that should never let that dim your own crazy. Welcome in, Yigit. How are you doing? You could have guessed Mauro Icardi immediately after seeing the roles. I'm a bit late today. It's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way that when it's the one that you're not there for that game, but as soon as you are there for the game, it'll be someone obscure. Ladislav, I'm a massive fan. What happened between 2023 and 27? In 27, we added some more leagues into the game when we moved over to Germany. So some players that weren't loaded up initially just won't have any history in that period. Vasquez was very underwhelming in real life this season, and when he got his chance after Dolberg got injured. Oh God, is that Luis Vasquez? Yeah, he was shite. The few highlights I saw of your games, he was awful. That's a relegation then, possibly. The stream's going all right, Ulems. We're doing more admin, my favourite time of year. So you have so much money, a few mil on the Swede is okay. It's not the money side of things. I mean, that said, yeah, we could buy Esposito, who would obviously be the obvious choice here. In fact, Lorenzo Luca was mentioned by Rowan in the last one. It's probably a little bit ridiculous that we haven't taken a look at him. That said, he's not playing. Only a handful of games for Marseille. It was excellent last season though. Arsenal spent 49 million on him, didn't play him, loaned him out to Marseille, sold him for a loss, where he then went on to score loads of goals. Here at 32, he's on and not for sale. We'll discount that there anyway. So I suppose the last thing to do is to pop back and see if we've got any more strikers popped up since we last looked at the scouts. Here, so we were looking at aerial challenges, headers won ratio above 40%, goals per 90 above 0.5, and minutes played. We go in just at that 1,000 mark, so we're looking for regular starters here. Well, I don't think we saw Osazua last time round. 9 goals in 18 games. Only 3 of them in the league. Most of them in the Conference League. He's played in both the Conference League and the Europa. Oh, so it would have been the qualifying rounds there. Okay. Kind of underwhelming, to be honest. Never really stood out over the course of a season. Big match is the only real concern there. Lacks bravery. Esparza is not a real player. It's not in an active league, so we can't really judge greatly on that, to be honest. This is his breakthrough season. He might well be a good player, but we don't really have anything to judge upon. And Rasul was the player playing in the National, so we're not interested there. Right, so we've got the bid in for Piccoli, Koto, and his bravery. Koto and his bravery. Maybe. Oh, welcome in, by the way, Pragmatic Frog. Thank you very much for the follow. How are you doing? Who are you playing with in FM? If you're comfortable chatting. No obligation to either. So apparently Gio is set to be named as coach at Liverpool. That hurts your feelings a lot. Understandable. A 45-man bench is what we need in Italy. That is very true. Crudmo, at least Heitinger left them. I mean, how do you feel about Heitinger joining Liverpool? Surely that is a no-go for a former Everton player. Right, so RJ wants me to look up Mika Götze. So Mika Götze now is 27 years old. He is currently still playing for Molenbeek. That's obviously a league that we don't have loaded up at the moment. So we don't know where he's been playing, but we'd guess. So we can't judge much by this because, look, it's not even measuring dribbles and headers won. There is not a single situation where a player has played 21 games and not won a single header or attempted a dribble or a progressive pass. So that's a bit of a shame on that front there. We can look at his career here though. So did get two senior games for Ajax in the 24-25 season. Those were his only appearances. Otherwise was down in the youth team. A short loan at Ostend before then moving to Sweden. Where he couldn't get into the first team before eventually joining RWDM. Down in the Challenger Pro League, he's been a regular starter. 4 goals, 5 assists, 2 and 1, 1 and 2. And his rating's quite good, but not necessarily the most impressive set of performances. From an attribute viewpoint, we don't have him scouted, so we don't necessarily know how accurate this is. I'm guessing we're going to see a lot more attributes that would actually be down in the single figures potentially. But doesn't look too bad. 2 years left on his contract, 27, never quite kicked on from the looks of things. So who's the fantastic striker that's at Augsburg? He's probably getting on a bit now too. Dion Drena-Beljo, indeed. Drena-Beljo. Now, we had him at Roma for that Moneyball clinic. Great player in relief. Currently at Sunderland, 7 goals in 24 games in the Championship. So he's had 2 penalties as well. So his scoring output's a bit disappointing. 43% header win rate is good. All of his games as a striker. We don't have any scouting information on him. Doesn't look to be elite in jumping or heading, which I'm surprised by. I thought he was quite good at jumping. Good anticipation. Obviously not the full reveal of attributes. A good season the year before. Was down in La Liga 2, where he scored goals for fun. Did spend some time in Italy as well. Probably, as he hasn't come up to with our scouts, nothing quite special there to go. Vex is in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? Lovely too. What transfers have we made? None so far. We've put a bid in for Roberto Piccoli, a Bologna striker that scored 1 and 2 in Serie A this season to hopefully be our new poacher. We've also got a pre-contract deal going out there for Stefano Bua. He's a 21-year-old playing down in Serie B. Won't be here until next season. You know, just kind of he'll cost us basically nothing, so we might as well take a little swing for a guy who's doing okay. I'm weighing up whether to go and make a bid for Koto. I think we wait to see what Bologna come back to us with. No, let's bid for Koto. Let's check his history. That's 3 seasons in double figures in La Liga. That season wasn't quite so good, but he did score in cup competitions and continental. So he's not perfect. He's a young player, but I think there's something worth working with there. Well, we'll see what his wage demands are. His wage demands are above 200k. That is now 200 to 225k is kind of where I want to limit us as possible. So that might not be a good situation. Let's put the bid in. Let's see what happens when we go into negotiations. Maybe we can stretch a little bit beyond that, but I'm not all that keen to move beyond there. Pragmatic Frog is an amazing name, an absolutely incredible name. So from IX to RWDM, or should I say Daring Brussels, now that they've changed, indeed. So Crudmo, generally anyone who joins the red shite is persona non grata with blue noses, understandably. But if they piss them off when they leave, like say Raheem Sterling, then they're okay with me. We should all have a chance at redemption. That's fair, I suppose. Right. So he feels he's got more interested in joining Chelsea, Al Ittihad, Riyadh. Was he a mercenary personality? No, light-hearted. So let's see. Important player, we would be looking for him to come in as a starter. 200k I can agree to. Don't want to give you money for us selling you on. 40k. Okay, I'm fine with those. That's a fifth. It's a crazy amount, but it is only a fifth there. Let's just see what happens there. If we say 205. Oh, okay. I did not expect him to accept. Right, the bid's in for Koto. Quite possibly going to be our new striker. Boccas is out injured. He'll miss the Fiorentina game, but Hernandez should be back on the bench by that point. He's only out for another couple of days. But yeah, if we can get ourselves a new striker, that'll be great. The next position to consider is that attacking midfield spot. So we have Palmer, we have Kerim, we have Benato. They're kind of playing for the attacking midfielder and the false nine, which is, you know, kind of all right. We've got Nuama, we've got Mosconi out on the right. We're probably looking at Pineapple Pizza maybe going out on loan. I feel like we send him out on loan. Isaac's contract comes to an end. He then becomes our rotation option for the following season, potentially. So got to have a look at Nico Raskin. I mean, Raskin definitely is. We are good for defensive midfielders at the moment, that's for sure. Crudmo says one word: Gordon. He doesn't play, but he has pissed them off. So definitely got to be a favourite, right? Sadean Basis wanted him at Colne in your save following your video. He's so good usually indeed. I think it's one of those, isn't it, where, well, hey, we are the Italian Serie A Manager of the Year AIC. What is AIC? Because Manager of the Year was Postecoglou. Best Manager of the... Oh, that's of the month. What is AIC? Considering we... Is this like Best Manager that hasn't won the league? Because this looks like Mathis Almeida, Cioffi at Udinese. Oh, we'll take it. We will take it. But Hernandez is back, which is marvellous. Yeah, like Dion, but I feel like one thing that FM does kind of well is the way that it handles those kind of target forward type players, because generally, with the exception of like one or two, Evan Ferguson, who's got pace, Lorenzo Luca, generally those big players don't really make it unless they get that game time to develop and properly round out some of their other elements, which is kind of what you see in real life. So I quite like that there can be a certain hit or missness with players like Peter Musa as well. There's another player that I've seen kind of just not quite make the grade in all saves as a result. I'm going to push the bid up to 25 million. We won't go beyond that because we've got the bid out for 25 million for Koto, so it doesn't really make sense for us to go much higher than that. Right, Lunari win the Super Cup. No, the semi-final of the Super Cup. You must have sold players £200 million transfer budget. Oh my, Vex. Oh my. Let me show you exactly what we've done with our transfers. We as you've been on many streams to know, that we said we were going to completely axe the team, and we really have. We sold for Taru and Rogeri for €100 million before the transfer window happened in the summer, and then we sold Beraldo Leao, Elena Kena, Bove, Theo, Balieri, Xerxes, Venturelli, Rizki, Vaskovic, Antic, Caprile, and Nico Gonzalez for a further 464 million. We have gone crazy. The squad was not good enough. And so we didn't pull any punches. We want to win. So it's the Associazione Italiana Calciatori. So it's Italian Football Association is ASA. Beautiful. There we go. It is just Coach of the Year. Wonderful. So Kastarak asks, is there a video where you shared your recruitment focus? Is it just scouting major league competitions for all players with some? It's not even 2.5. So Kastarak, I tend not to share mine because it's not very useful. I play very specifically with player search off. So all I want from my research recruitments is to get as many players as possible into the scouted players section. So every single recruitment focus is 0.5 star, 1 star, done by a competition. Everything is exactly the same, and it's just about building up a pool rather than finding players for the scout recommendations. Right, cool. We've got another break coming up. So let's disappear for about 3-4 minutes. And when we come back, we have a game against Fiorentina, maybe the new striker. See you then. Right, we're back. We're back. And so, Vex, you asked about Thomas Frank at Spurs. As I say, I really like Thomas Frank. I hope he does well. I'm worried that he often gets off to a slow start, whether he'll be given time. But it'll be interesting to see how they approach it. He's a really, he's got a clear vision, but he can be pragmatic as well. I think he's done excellently at Brentford. It's going to be really interesting to see him at a traditionally bigger team. So yeah, really excited by it, generally speaking. So Vex thinks it's a great appointment, but Ange should have never been sacked. Players obviously loved him too. See, I disagree. Ange absolutely should have been sacked. Now, you can, as a fan, you can be delighted with him. As players, you can be delighted with him because trophies mean one hell of a lot to fans, mean one hell of a lot to the players as well. But also, from a board perspective, you can recognise that what's happened over the last 18 months isn't a sustainable path towards success. And so, as crazy as it might seem, it's perfectly reasonable to go, actually, we need something else. I think there's a great example with Nottingham Forest sacking Steve Cooper when they were outside the relegation zone. Nuno, it looked rocky to start with, but now that Nuno's had time, and as they're moving through the leagues and their expectations changed, sometimes you need to acknowledge that even if what's happened is good enough, it's never going to be a long-term success story. So that's kind of the hope there in that regard. So we've had the bid for Piccoli rejected, so we're going to step out of that one. It looks like Koto is going to be our striker. 400 games. 400 games. Fabulous. And it is against top of the table as well. What a beautiful way that has lined up. So Nuama is in great form. He's our top scorer. Cole Palmer's goal was only third. Cole Palmer's goal was only third. That is crazy. What was Naipan's goal then? What beat Cole Palmer? Let's have a look here. Naipan is through on goal. He runs very, very slowly. Lets the defenders catch up. Absolute. So rewind. Did he beat players beforehand? We didn't see him beating any players beforehand. It's just ran alone. That was a better goal, allegedly. A better goal than Cole Palmer. I will happily fight for one brain cell Cole's absolutely delightful top corner finish from the edge of the box. Disgraceful. He's been robbed. Robbed, I tell you. Absolutely robbed. Right, Cromwell's going to have some milk. That's a fine choice. A very fine choice. Bill Houdini's in. Welcome in, Bill. How are you, sir? I was talking about you on Twitter the other day. All good, just to be clear. So I think the FM show podcast was asking about creators that I like, and I wanted to make sort of bring some attention to some of the great written work out there. So yourself, your wonderful Arsenal Tears Free save is something I always remember. Absolutely fantastic reading, along with like Steinkelson, always a great read. Everything he does, 6-pointer as well. So lovely to see you in, my dude. So that title is The Tree Hiding the Forest. Exactly. So many problems despite that win. So Naipan, what a banger or not? Exactly. Ladislav Almasi, it said sprung the offside trap in the commentary as well. I mean, technically he sprung it by staying in his own half when he received the ball. Just about. Sekerum. He's on the decline because he's 34 years old. That's fine. He's not been great. Actually, we don't need to try and extend him. Let's let him leave. That's no worries. Do you know what? We wanted that other attacking midfielder, didn't we? Let's go for it. He's only just joined the club, so he's not interested. Okay, fair enough. When did he sign that contract? 29th of the 6th. I have a feeling that before the end of the month, we can probably get him to bite. But we will after the Fiorentina. We get Fiorentina twice in a row, in fact. After the Fiorentina game, maybe we'll start shortlisting some attacking midfielders as well, because maybe there's some other ones out there. He is in that shortlist because of his goal scoring, whereas we might be looking for a slightly more attacking midfielder-y type profile from the other player, right? So, well, that's crazy. Thank you very much. No, thank you, Bill. Thank you, my dude. Yeah, it's one of those things you often see the comments around out on Twitter and things asking about content creators, and I think it's you know, a long time ago the talk would all be about blogs and everything. It seems to have died down. People automatically move towards like YouTube and to Twitch, for example, and they expect those to be the responses, but there's amazing written content still out there. I'm obviously rejecting the bid for Navarro. A mandatory future fee on a player who is out of contract and he's not interested in joining, so we'll reject that. Offers in for Defoe. Defoe's just returned from his loan at Viking, where he barely played. So that's absolutely fine. These ones important players, so I'm glad they've accepted that. Let's see if they actually stick to it, though. Yeah, so I mean, we did sign Navarro at a loss. We sold Navarro when we arrived. We signed him this summer, so maybe it makes sense to sell him again. We don't need to make any changes there. Offer in for Theo, 35. Now he's just had a 3-week injury. Still a decent player, absolutely no doubt about that. But Navarro is our future. We've got Bockers waiting in the wings, so that's absolutely fine there. So Atabulo, Hammer's in good form, Monterisi, Rod, Navarro, Rocha, Kari, Nuama, Palmer, Kerim, Isaac, and then all the players that fit, apart from the unnecessary extra goalkeeper. How far away is he? Oh, he's like 2 weeks away. Absolutely not on the bench for that game. That's fine. Can we make it 4 out of 4 against top of the league? Potenza in Serie B. Are they now? Are they now? Awesome. We should probably have a look to see what's going on in the other leagues. Where's the no pressure? No pressure's worked nicely for us. That's kind of a no pressure. So I have faith, I have faith, I have faith. They're going to be playing there. So Molinari. We can't see whether Marcos Antonio or Bianco are likely to be the more attacking options there. I don't think it shows up, does it here? So they often play Marco Antonio in the more attacking capacity. Sakari is going to pay attention to Marco Antonio. That's perfect. Rocha on the attacking midfielder. Kerim, therefore, has to drop onto Bianco. Perfect. Right, let's get a win. We need a win. We need a win for sure. That would be nice. That would cut down the gap. They're still 7 points ahead, right? So there's still a 7-point gap between us and Fiorentina. As Fiorentina take the corner, and Atabolo claims, at it, lad, at a lad. Atabolo, a nice authoritative claim. Now, what's he going to do here? He's going to roll it out to Monterisi. Out to Anita Hammer, and the pressure is there immediately, but we move through it nicely. Kerim turns away, finds Nuama once again. He's driving inside. There's Kari in acres of space, finds Navarro. Navarro shoots! Navarro! Put on the red and black. Milan. 1-0. That'll do nicely. Kerim with a free kick. Fully 30-yard. Kerim. Oh, my word.
Milan, come together, clap your hands, save me. Storm goes AC Milan.
Off the underside of the bar, Kerem Aktürkoğlu. What a goal. What a goal. So is that John or Harry Sutar? Let's have a look to see which Sutar it is. It's Harry Sutar in the heart of their defence. Either way, it probably explains why they're 2-0 down right now. It's a lovely goal, that first goal. The second goal was pretty nice as well. You said Kerem was not good at all. That's his response. Isn't it just? Isn't it just? Here's Kari in to make it 3, but Santuriello with the save. That was a big chance to put this game arguably out of control within the first 20 minutes, but Bjorn Rod does so.
Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals. Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals. Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals. Turning Milanese, got me turning Milanese when we score goals.
Okay, 3-0 inside the first 25 minutes. Gotta be pretty chuffed with that. Can Fiorentina respond with Nico? They can, like that. Fired straight at Atabolo, but Toblerone gloves it into his own goal. Disappointing. So the quiz regarding Ange. Liverpool managed third with Phillips and Reece Williams in defence. Less competitive league at the time, but an example of a team having to be pragmatic and deal with key injuries. Exactly. So last season, Villa and Newcastle both had more injuries than Tottenham. Villa obviously finished above Tottenham in the league, whilst also competing in Europe. This season, Newcastle, I think their players missed maybe something like 20 days less games. And yet they once again reached the top 4. Yes, they had a lot of injuries all concentrated in one area, but the lack of pragmatism was really inexcusable. As Beltran looks to pull one back. Right, okay. Focus, guys. Focus. Let's, in fact, drop that tempo. Let's try and control things a little bit more. See if we can see through 3-1 up at half-time. That's the hope. Yeah, so that was Kerem's response, most definitely. To be fair, that's 2 goals now since he's been put up front in the last 4 games or so. But he is 34. He doesn't have elite natural fitness. As Beltran pulls another one back, the flag goes up though. The flag goes up. Will that save us? Their players are running away. They look quite content. Are they going to raise their arms? They're not. That's a relief. Muster, love your content, mate. Welcome in, Lee. Quick question. Does your Moneyball skin work for lower league, Conference North? As in, will the pizza charts be relevant for that league? So, the pizza charts are a static data set, as explained in the FAQs. But it'll still work. You're still going to be looking at players comparatively, right? So, you have your players look for improvements on what their metrics are. The pizza charts are just a way to visualize, but you will expect that in some regards, they might be lower in some areas or less rounded. Crudmo still likes man in the box, but turning Milanese is a belter. I mean, you say you like man in the box. I may have struggled earlier on to turn that into Milan in the box. But it's there, isn't it? It's there, potentially. Holland in the mud. Exactly. You don't have that same nonsense. That's true. But RJ doesn't hear Holland in the mud. So exactly. We went 3-0 up, but we might not necessarily deserve to be 3-0 up. So, hands on hips, we can definitely do better. A round of do better. So if we got any responses there, we don't have anything major. We are going to focus a press on Antonio. He was the one that we saw carrying the ball forwards and being quite an issue. And obviously Nico's goal, Beltran has got loose of his man, been offside as a result, but got loose of his man a couple of times. So we'll mark up there. Gonna move back that way, back up to attacking. Let's start the second half how we started the first half and hope we get a good response out of that. That's the hope. Lee Coogan, also your Discord invite doesn't work. Yes, I got informed during the stream tonight. I will be updating that. Ignore it does. Okay, that is. Like, I got told earlier on that it wasn't working as well. So it will be something I will be looking to update in due course as well. It's meant to be a perpetual link, but evidently there's been some problems. So we'll see how it goes. So Lou, thanks for sending the Discord link through. You've managed to join in. Marvellous. I look forward to seeing you in there, Lou. Right, Nuama's picked up a knock. That's not good. Potential lower leg injury. That's going to see Mosconi come on. I suppose whilst we're making subs, we're also going to bring off the booked player. And let's try and get a response out of Theo to make him less aggressive. That's not happening, so we're going to tell him to calm down. Right, a slightly better start to the second half, or we've been the better side in the second half. But we're not necessarily, like 3-1 is a massively, massively flattering scoreline for us. So it does work, but you need to have Discord open. Okay, that's interesting. I will check it anyway. It like makes it just 4.
Milan, Rossoneri. Ain't nobody I'd rather be. Milan, Rossoneri. They can't take that away from me.
It's a shocking, shocking error from Michael Coyote. Isaac pounces. He knows that he's about to be replaced, so he's starting to put in some performances. Right, change time. It's going to be Bonato on. It's going to be Hasuki on. Let's make sure we've got a slightly more defensive option at the back there as well. Hopefully we'll be all right there. Welcome in, Ilkrum, as well. Thank you very much for the follow. How are you doing? Right, here's Molinari. Loses out. Theo back from injury, 3 weeks out. Sends it across to Mosconi. The flag goes up, though. The flag goes up. Mosconi looking for only his second goal of the season. Is this one? It looks like it's going to be disallowed, surely. He looked off to me. He was off. There's a shame. That's a shame. So how are we doing this finally? A good question. We're doing very, very well. How are you, sir? How are you? Hope you're well and the Dave's treating you wonderfully. Saves. Right, the save tonight. Tonight's been a good stream so far. We've had a pretty rotten time. But we are on course for 4 wins out of 4, 12 goals in those games. And we're going to close the gap down to 4 points in the league, which is massive. Last change is going to see us bring on Tijani Reindeers for Eamon Kari. Although that whistle... Okay, I thought that was the whistle of a red card. It's not, though. So who are you playing with at the moment, Ilkrum? Who do you support as well? RJ, speaking of French left-backs, you saw a video with Vicente Lizarazu. Dude is 55 years old and he's more fit than Ronaldo. That is quite crazy. I mean... Well, right. So, I don't want to
Go for the fans, it's because AC Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands. Goals for the fans, it's because AC Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands.
Boom. Mosconi with the cross, Isaac with the header. That's what we've been missing all season. It's 5-1 against the league leaders, Fiorentina. This is an absolute rout. We don't... I feel like we deserve the win, but 5-1 is very, very unfair on them. Now, I don't want to disparage Vicente Lizarazu, a very, very good defender, but maybe if he spent time learning how to be fit, he wouldn't have got absolutely mugged off by Theo Zacharakis running out to that right wing in the quarterfinals of Euro 2004, because Zacharakis got to the ball before him, flicked it over his head, brought it down, looked up, curled in a peach of a cross that just seemed like in slow motion to reach the head.
One of the bottle. I think I'm a special one.
I see, Matto. You want to shut me up over talking about Greece's greatest goal. Not even Greece's greatest goal, to be fair. It's not just Greece's greatest goal. It's the greatest goal of all time. As Karisteas leaped like a salmon to head the ball back from whence it came, leaving Fabian Barthez stranded. An onlooker, all he could do was see as the ball nestled into the top corner. Oh, what a goal. What a goal. Right, well done, lads. 5-1. Great result. Him and Seedorf always seem to be in ridiculous shape. Seedorf always does as well, indeed. Right, okay, that's nice. That gives us a 3-point gap from Inter. 7 points from Juve with a game in hand. It's down to 4 points between us and Fiorentina. So that's a delightful turn up for us. Nuama's going to only be out for 2 days, which is great. Oh, will Kerem trigger his contract before he agrees a deal? League appearances. The next league game, though, isn't for a week. He will be 35 next year. He did score a very nice goal there. Very, very nice free kick. But it is a free kick. He's only got 1 assist, but he should have 3. So part of his performance is based on others not doing their job. We can find another old man to replace him, I'm sure. Hassan, welcome in, my dude. How are you? Yesterday you finished your baccalaureate exams. Congratulations. The results will be out in 2 weeks. I do wish you luck. I'm sure you've done brilliantly. Isle Crumb, you're currently halfway through your first season at Rennes out in France, and you're a Celtic fan. Oh, interesting. We have a few Rangers fans around, so I'm sure there'll be a little bit of tension. So RJ, you won't argue with that. You don't care at all about French players, just that I saw him now at 55 and it made me look at myself and want to do sports more. I'm only 42 after all. But also, like, he's had the advantage of being a remarkably talented athlete all his life, whereas we're starting from we're a little bit behind in that regards. So, you know, a Photoshop helps. Exactly. A few Rangers fans. Exactly. Right. Attacking midfield is an area we want to address. So, actually, before we do that, let's have a look at what old boys can we find? I mean, Amrani isn't an old boy, but he is a left-footed player that could play in that position. He's been playing as an attacking midfielder on the left, where he has been absolutely sensational. He's on only 22k a week. He is the top-rated player there. Consistent, big matches, adaptable. I think, yeah. There we go. There's a nice, easy one to start us off. Oh, yeah. Get fucked, mate. Get absolutely fucked. He is currently earning 22,000 euros per week. And he wants 400 to 500k a week. Absolutely no hope whatsoever. So Sane is going to Galatasaray. I know. It's a crazy, crazy move, isn't it? DM Basis is right. All the
We are in Champions League, man.
That was my next question.
Dilly dong, come on.
All the Rangers fans are absolute bastards. Not at all. Not at all. I've got a soft spot for Rangers. So Hossam, I don't know why you're keeping you updated. I guess you bring me no, absolutely keep me updated. I'd say I remember very well. I was going to say I remember very well. Now a number of years, so my memory isn't quite as good, but I do still remember the relief that came after finishing exams, having that weight off your chest. And I know that there's an element of anxiety that comes until you find out the results, but just getting past that first stage is such a momentous occasion. I don't know if Lumi is still around. He's just finished his exams as well, and it's just it must be such a relief. And I say, I wish you all the best with it. Only 400 to 500k a week, an absolute bargain, right? Absolute bargain. So Daniel, how can we get this version of your skin? So as explained in a couple occasions now, this is not publicly available. A version that is similar is available via Patreon. However, it does have a couple of slight differences, and it only is optimized at one resolution. The way that the Patreon works is the bonuses in terms of skins and resources, they are as they come. They are meant as a bonus rather than me making skins behind a paywall, if you know what I mean. So have a read up of the README over at Patreon and see if that's something that you think. I think that the offering in total is really, really good, but I wouldn't sign up for it personally just for one element. Right, Chouameni is playing as a midfielder, 32 years old, likes to get forward, absolutely incredible there, scoring, creating. He loses the ball a lot, but that's for a defensive midfielder where he's clearly getting forwards. He's pressuring, he's winning his tackles at a great rate. He's on 350k, so he's unlikely, but let's see what the demands would be. He'd still want around 350k, so that's one we can let run as well. Manchester Lit's on €1 million a week, so that's absolutely a no. Have a look at Karamoko, a young left back. He's played 15 games for Paris Saint-Germain's second team. Before that, he spent some time out on loan. None of those stats are useful to us, so we'll skip past that there. Nunes is on crazy money. We looked at him the previous season and dismissed it for the same reason. Jose Eduardo on loan from Liverpool, currently playing in League One and not necessarily lighting it up in League One, so we'll ignore that there. Nunes. Federico Gatti is on 925,000. That is obscene. That is absolutely obscene. So, Mr. Moman, you should make the skin situation a button on a soundboard, to be honest. Absolutely. I think I need to update the command as well. If I can have the command, it'd be as text, for sure. So, RJ, you redeemed a minigame. You did indeed. I apologise for missing that. Let's pop on over. And is it going to be bingo, or is it going to be another game that Crudmo can win? DM Bassist hopes it's going to be bingo, and that breaks my heart a little bit because I've prepared another game, but you don't want the stuff that I do for you. No, you just want bingo. I see how it is. I see how it is. We shall indeed play bingo. So for those guys that don't know how this works, I will explain the rules. In chat in a moment, you're going to get a link to this lovely playfootballgames.games website. And when we enter the game, every player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares on it. Those squares might contain clubs or countries or competitions or managers. We then all get the same list of 60 players in the same order. We've got to match those players to one of those squares. You get 10 seconds to make a decision. Sometimes they'll match one square, sometimes they'll match multiple squares, sometimes they'll match 0 squares. Once you choose a square, however, that is locked in. You can't undo it. You can't put another player in that spot. And then once we get to the end, hopefully you've managed to get all 16 squares correctly assigned and you've got bingo. And we do have some very, very smart fellas in chat. We have Draw, we have Zeratul, we have Crudmo, all got bingo recently. I think Fuller FM got bingo the other week as well. I might be wrong on that, actually. I think it's certainly close. I think G&G got bingo a couple of weeks back as well. So we do have, there is some stiff competition out there. Now, obviously, it takes a little while for people to sign up, so we'll give it about a minute and a half more, and a little bit of a chance to get into the game if you want to. So Lee Coogan, what's your PC specs, Muster? CPU and RAM wise to run game in max detail. So I don't know off the top of my head. I run a 3070. RAM is 32 gig. I'd assume it's DDR4. CPU is like a... I can check this, can't I? Let's pop on here. System should... I can never remember any of the stuff off the top of my head. So it's an AMD Ryzen, so it's a 5600X, 6 cores, 3.7 gigahertz, and not top notch. The specs are okay, but not amazing. But they did a great job in terms of optimization for FM24. That generally speaking, speeds aren't too bad at all. So did we not have that game recently where we've got 4 or 5 bingos in one game? We did indeed. It's crazy stuff. Brazilian Fury's in. Welcome in, Brazilian Fury. Now this is going to be very weird. Lovely to see you, my dude. And despite the fact that you are over on YouTube, I'm going to try and shout you out over on Twitch, which I can't because I've spelt your name wrong. Which is always the way. Brazilian Fury. Let's give that a go there. There we go. We've got the shout out. If you're not following Brazilian, you most definitely should. An amazing, amazing video today looking at the Club World Cup over on YouTube as well. Well worth checking out. Right, we're going to start the game. So let me hit start. Check your browsers. If you're in the game, check your browsers. Make sure you're following along for the countdown. Ladislav, our massive fan, can you do a 10-second countdown before you start, please? I do apologise. I've read that afterwards. Yes, he likes to play FM on Ultra 4K HD with light ray tracing. Exactly. You don't need anything particularly over the top at this level. With FM, generally speaking, quite fine with. It's not a potato, but it's certainly not optimized, that's for sure. And obviously when we're running on stream, we've got various other things open as well, and it seems to tick along just about well enough, thankfully. Right, Julio Baptista, we'll pop him in there. Javinho. Gonna give that a skip. GG, we're gonna give him a skip. Podolski. Oh, where Podolski's played some funny places, hasn't he? Has he won the World Cup with Germany? We're going for it. We're going for it. A little bit of a late panic there. Zlatan. I don't think he matches any of those. I might be missing something really obvious there. But if I am, oh well, it's gone now, so that's all right. Mario Götze. Jonathan Tah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, the Old Fashioned got a Brazilian recently. I mean, that is information I didn't think that I needed to know. I mean, so you're a brave person putting wax there, that's for sure. Right, Christian Vieri. Well, I feel like I'm missing some really obvious answers here. Juan Fran. Don't feel good about that one. Nicola Zaniolo. He was at Gala. Thiago Silva at Chelsea. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Let's skip that there. Lothar Matthäus for the Ballon d'Or. Kingsley Coman at Bayern with Lewandowski. Andre Guardado, I don't think there. Diego Simeone. He was at Lazio, right? Roy Mackay. Tapsoba's at Nice. Ayala. Not sure there. Ryerson will skip. Tolisso will skip. Mertesacker. Possibly Ancelotti's first spell. Klinsmann for the Premier League Golden Boot. I don't feel good about that either. I feel like I've already got like 5 wrong, so I'm kind of in tilt mode anyway. So we'll just see how it goes from here. Yildiz, Hakimi, Amrabat, Juli, Pavlovic, Bentner, Arteta, De Boer, Diallo, Calvert-Lewin, Speed, Balotelli, Dombele, Hernandez, Gilardino. Yeah, let's say that Gilardino went to China. And then we're looking for Argentinians at Inter Milan. And that is going to be the last option. It's going to be Gabriel Batistuta in Inter Milan. That's for sure what we're going for. That'll do all right. So we've got an early front runners. FMG&G, Crudmo and DMB all getting a very respectable 14 correct. They are currently in joint first place. In second place is Draw. In fourth place is Draw. In fifth place is Dario Isugo fan. There we go. Really pulling out the more obscure players now. So Rich, your setup is Intel 5, 16 gig, Celeste Mustermann's, and FM24 runs absolutely fine. Exactly that. DM Basis, you were close. Had to guess on 2 and got them wrong. That's fair enough. I'm surprised I got away with only 3 wrong. Wait a second, I thought Tapsoba was at Nice. Okay, I got things like Gilardino in China was completely a guess. But Tapsoba at Nice, I felt. Mertesacker being at Real Madrid during Ancelotti's first reign, I wasn't confident on at all. I wasn't confident on Klinsmann for the Golden Boot, but also at the same time, I'm a little surprised he wasn't as well. So that's some fabulous stuff. So Krudmo, as the game started, you accidentally clicked your mouse and selected Pavel Nedved as Ivorian. Game and night ruined. Welcome in, Cougs LFC. Thank you very much for the follow. I was going to... So, Cougs, I've just been confused to the hilt. Do YouTube and Twitch chats combine on stream? Not on the screen, I'm afraid. So the terms of services for Twitch means that I'm allowed to multi-stream, but I'm not allowed to stream chats from other platforms. So I can't have YouTube chat on Twitch, but I can have Twitch chat on YouTube. So for Twitch, so for YouTube, we've got the chat window up here, which will show you just Twitch, and I will act as the conduit somewhat slowly for conversations with YouTube. So Lazzav, I'm a massive fan. You had 6 players and 6 squares left and got 5 of them correct. That's a pretty nice ending. That is definitely a... RJ had managed by Simeone, and you almost put Simeone there just for the meme. Well done. Well done for the little bit of self-control there. Fabulous stuff. It is a wonderful top trio, isn't it, GNG? Isn't it? Right, so Yoshi, you was bad. We all have bad games. It's all good, my dude. All good. Right, Patrick Wimmer is a player that can play anywhere up front. We like to change tactics a lot, so that could be quite a useful player to have. He has been playing as a winger, which is where you would expect him to play, where he's created chances. He's scored above XG, but that feels outlier-y to me. Like, he's not getting into shooting positions often. I don't think he's going to be much of a goal scorer if we were to sign him. Not particularly impressive in terms of dribbling either. Right, no major concerns with like injuries or anything like that. He's consistent. Like, kind of okay. From an attribute standpoint, work rate, agility, those things are pretty decent. Determination. He's still valued at 36 million apparently, despite his contract coming up. He's not necessarily a bad... Oh, we've already spoken to his agent as well. So he'd want 175 to 210, which is a bit on the high side. We'll just back out of that chat. We'll consider him. I'm not convinced that he's going to be the answer in any regard. So Hjulman's on 175 at the moment, currently at Arsenal, where he's playing mainly as a defensive midfielder. As a defensive midfielder, 73% tackle win rate's a bit on the low side. Doesn't pressure, doesn't win possession. But Arsenal have a lot of the ball. He's on the ball a lot. He's safe with it. He's progressive. He's creating. He's scoring for a deep player. 49% header win rate isn't too bad either. So still quite serviceable in that regard. Another one that likes to get forwards though. I would prefer defensive midfielders that hold position a little bit more out of the options that we've got. No major concerns. Great natural fitness, so likely to not decline immediately. Yeah, another player worth maybe just keeping an eye on. I'm, again, not necessarily sold on him as an option, but, you know, maybe isn't the worst thing. Zerachel, god dang, freaking fat Ronaldo let you down, did he? Ah, so Zerachel, let's pop on over for a bit of confirmation there. Zerachel has dashed the dreams of GNG, Krudmo, and DMB. They all drop to second place as Zerachel comes in after 7 minutes with 15 out of 16 correct, and evidently let down by fat Ronaldo. Fabulous work there, sir. So Cougs, you got your specs or set up anywhere, Muster? I tried running full detail on about 10 leagues yesterday and couldn't even watch a YouTube vid whilst playing. Be better plugging my toaster in at a monitor at this point. So Cougs even, you are Lee, right? So as I did answer a little while ago, It's just a Ryzen 5 6000X. It's a 3070. It's 32 gig RAM, but it runs absolutely fine. Whilst also running all the other apps that I have on whilst I stream. It's all on obviously on one computer running at the same time. Generally speaking, I try and keep the number of leagues down though. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we've got 31, 32, 34, 35, 36. We've got 36 leagues running. About 110,000, and it generally works quite well. It's a well optimized game as FM24, at least by FM standards. Right, Willy Nonto has been playing everywhere. He is called Willy. He's Italian. These are all things that work in his favour. He's doing okay as a goal scorer, but not really okay in any other regard. So unfortunately, Willy is no longer part of my plans. So Zeratul is above Crudmo, so life is good. That's all you need, right? So Cervenka, if we're going to sign Cervenka, it's not going to be on his stats, but we can see stuff that he's doing in the first division, where he is very dribbly and he's creating chances. He's offside 4 times isn't much at all. Okay, generally all of that seems pretty positive, to be fair. Comment about his potential isn't necessarily there, so let's pop here. That's broken. But that potential bit's there anyway. I don't see why we wouldn't sign him, to be fair. Let's come in and offer him a new contract, or a contract even. Remove that, push that up to 2k, say 4 years, and hopefully that's another youngster on his way to us, potentially. So Chris Prin, another player. Now he has got 46 minutes worth. You can't judge on that. Down at the under 21s level, he's been running, he's been making interceptions, he's been progressive. He loses the ball a lot. I'm not keen on that. Low determination, loses the ball a lot. That's certainly not really the kind of thing I'm excited by. That's for sure. So DM Basis playing on full detail is a definite killer. It does make it tricky. You're doing that currently, but the PC is absolutely struggling. You're running about a third of the leagues. Yeah, but DM Basis, a third of the leagues that you usually play with is still like 700 leagues, right? Also questions. How do you baseline what header percentage ratio and tackle percentage is good? You've used Stag FM Skin once upon a time, who had attributeless, who had a rough base. So Stag Skin, I'm guessing you used either SAS or WTCS, who had a rough baseline. Generally speaking, I will look to see what's going on in the game save. Generally speaking, as has been mentioned in quite a lot of the Moneyball Clinic videos, around 80%, well, around 78% to 80% for tackles won for a defender, around 70% for headers won for a defender are good starting points. So RJ's off to bed, long day. Have a wonderful, wonderful night's sleep, my dude. Oh shit, I need to finish up relatively soon as well, because I need to update my supermarket order before 10 p.m. Right, Alan Hughes. What have we got going on here? He's not been playing much. That's understandable. He's young. Centre back potentially. Sprints, distant, covered. Okay, so he's playing as a fullback from the looks of things.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me. How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh my, welcome in Darthy FM, and thank you very much for the subscription with your Prime as well. You only get one of those. I really appreciate you've chosen to use it here. Yeah, who are you playing FM with? Who do you support? If you feel comfortable chatting, would love to hear from you. Okay, so DM Basis prefers to be under Crudmo when possible. Okay, right, you're talking about the game. Allegedly. No plans for Willy. Title of FMG&G sex tape. Isn't it just? So Rich, you think a while back SI issued specs for FM26? I doubt those will change. Indeed. So there was a significant, not a significant, there was a noticeable upgrade required in the minimum specs from FM24 to what would have been FM25, but still likely to run reasonably smoothly on lower end machines, which is great to see. So DM Basis is currently at about 55 leagues, 144,000 players. See, 700 leagues. I was bang on, right? Bang on. Muster, tell me you are not signing, you are not over 30 without telling me you are not over 30. I need to update my supermarket order. Indeed. Indeed. I hope you are well. I am very good. How are you, Game Legend? Lovely to see you, my dude. So Darthy, you're doing a statistics only Moneyball Journeyman save with my skin. Having the most fun you've ever had. Season 1 with Bonnie Rig Rose. Interesting. You're in League 2. Fabulous. Fabulous. Yeah. So Season 2, you're in Season 1 with Bonnie Rig, sorry, in League 2. Likely to be a bit of a struggle. Are you expecting to get promotion this season? How's it going so far? Mon the Rosy Posy, DM Base, we've got plenty of Scots in. Plenty of Scots. Season 2 with them, sorry, okay, yeah. Cougs, right, okay, we'll do, yeah, you've got great advice from Rich there, indeed. And you support your local 6th tier side, done it, Pace. I just didn't want to start that low down as there's no point doing stats only with barely any staff. It does make it tricky, that's for sure. We spent, even at the start of this, whilst we were in the top division of Finland, we had no scouting budget, so a lot of it had to be just hoping on good recommendations from our director of football and loans, and hoping that some of those players turned out to be good. And thankfully, 1 or 2 of them did work out all right. Alan Hughes, nothing special here, but okay, right. I do need to get off and do that order. We're going to be back on Saturday evening, right? So what I might do Saturday is a Saturday. Saturday is a special day. This isn't why we're streaming on Saturday either, but Saturday will be exactly 2 years since I uploaded my first video on YouTube. So maybe we'll start a little bit earlier than 7, and it's going to be a lot more looking through stats and transfer based anyway. So, we might need that little bit extra time for all the nonsense admin that's going to be going on. I mean, granted, that is all my streams are just nonsense admin, right? So yeah, I think that's the plan. I've got to make my changes. Saturday FM geeking, exactly. Blimey, it's getting Scottish in here. You better stock up on Iron Brew. Maybe I need to add some Iron Brew to my order. That seems to be the plan. So DM Basis went to Bonnie Rig's first game in League 2 against Forfar. Shame to see them go down this season. They were robbed. So Darthy, you're aiming for the playoffs. You survived last day of the season by 3 points. Sensational. Kvez had about 70 playable leagues earlier, went down to about 40 when you felt you had stabilised in the top division. That's the Coug, certainly an element that I would definitely mention as well, is that if you do have concerns about performance, add and remove leagues as you go along. One of the things that we've done here is we've focused on places we're likely to sign from, and then when we move club, we reassess that. And if that means removing a league or 2 here, adding another league there can be very, very useful. So DM Basis did a bit of a save with Genfield Swifts. Indeed he did. GNG was doing a save with Wick Academy. He was indeed. Absolutely brilliant save. Really worth checking out over on YouTube. Cool. Right, okay, let's get this all finished up then. So YouTube, we finish over on YouTube first. So massive thank you everyone for dropping by. Hopefully see you on Saturday. As I say, we'll probably start a little bit earlier, so maybe around 6:30 p.m. British Summer Time. I'd love to see you there. If not though, thank you very much for